recording or videoing.
Huh?
That image that says step 1.
Oh, I thought you said it was body cam footage.
Body cam?
The
What are you
first one?
talking about? The image of Maddie?
Oh, the image of Maddie. Okay.
That was taken from outside of the house, if that's real. And I want to clarify, you guys, there's people out there saying that that is from Vampire Diaries or something like that. I haven't verified that. I don't know. That's why I'm just telling you very clearly, this is theory here, right? So we don't know. None of this has been verified. I haven't verified it, but there's enough correlating pieces of evidence here that make me think, this probably needs to be looked into.
If people know it's from Vampire Diaries, then pull up that picture from the show and put it next to it.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. 100%.
Like, come on.
Yeah, 100%.
Don't just say that.
Yeah.
Pull it up.
Agreed.
If you know what it's from.
No, I agree. I agree, because that would discount any or all of this, because that was all the same user.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, is this a reason why multiple people have left that area that were attached to them?
Yeah.
Like, hey, get me out of here. I don't want to be next. Interesting.
Where is this guy that he got into a fight with? Does anyone know where he is? Is he still in school?
Don't know. Don't know anything about him.
Interesting.
Yep. Don't know anything about him. So interesting stuff, guys. I'm curious what you guys think about this theory. I'm curious if you've heard of it before. I'm curious why you think it might be re-emerging again right now. If there's any details to it that really stand out to you that maybe I missed, share it all. I want to know more about this. This is real base level stuff for me because I haven't looked into this. So, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
If Ryan Kohberger never got arrested, it's interesting because none of this devalues the evidence they have. His DNA was found on a knife sheath there. Whether it could have happened from cross-contamination, whether it didn't, and it was legitimately there, like, that has to be answered. Why? You know what I mean? And this story, I'm not trying to discredit any of that. It's just an alternate theory that I think is interesting at looking at. And I think any good police officer has backups.
Yeah. You should.
They should. 100% they should. So if Brian Kohberger, for whatever reason, this case gets thrown out, he gets found innocent, whatever the case is, they better have a backup, you know?
Yeah, the table shook.
So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm curious.
I'm super curious too.
Yeah.
Because I definitely know there's some people, some viewers who know more about this.
Yeah,
I've seen it mentioned a few times.
I want to throw one more piece in there and then I'm done. There have been multiple people that have commented that Kopaka was somehow knew what happened and that he wasn't talking about ending his roommates. He was talking about he knew how they were ended or something like that. Yeah. Who knows if there's any worth to that? I don't know. We haven't really talked on Kopaka before.
I wonder if he didn't have roommates and was just out there talking about roommates.
Oh, that would.
Because remember, you said nobody's ever been able to identify who his roommates were. Ever. They've never found his roommates. What if he didn't have roommates? What if he was just talking about roommates because of the Moscow murders?
Interesting.
So they assumed a threat because he was talking about murder and he was talking about roommates. So they assumed he had roommates.
Yeah.
But did they take statements from roommates? Like, have they taken statements?
I don't know. We don't know that because it's an active investigation.
It's not anymore. They just closed it. Ray sent me the document.
We will pull it up and check it out.
If anything's been released yet.
Yeah.
We'll try to find it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But let us know, you guys.
Yes, thank the mad chatter. I saw that. We recorded this prior to Truth and Transparency's deep dive into Kopaka or Kopaka.
Oh, yeah. With Lana identifying them. Yes, I still haven't had time to watch that, but we love TNT here. I think most of you guys know that. So we support them whenever we can. Sometimes our videos overlap, though. And unfortunately, our lives and premieres overlap the last couple days. So I haven't had a chance to watch them because I've been editing the whole time. But yeah, and oh, it did pop up. Awesome. Super stoked to be here with everybody. And I want to get into this. I've been sitting here watching this, obviously, since I was part of shooting it, and just waiting to be able to talk with everybody and talk about it the entire time, because I think this starts dipping our toes into what people have been asking us to talk on for a long time, that somehow a lot of people believe that Kopaka is tied to the fraternity stuff. There's some sort of connection there. And to be honest, before somebody, and I reached out to the person that connected these dots and asked them, hey, do you want a shout out? Do you, just trying to give them the respect of all the work they did. And they just weren't interested. They do it for fun or whatever. So but I do want to say that I appreciate them, and what they put together here helped me see something that I wasn't able to see before. And that's why I just wanted to share it with everyone as soon as I could, literally as soon as I could. I think I even had a couple mistakes in there with editing because I was I was hurrying so much to try and get it out to everybody because I wanted to talk about it. Because the whole time I've been looking at this theory, I've been like, oh man, I feel like that's going too tin hat, right? That's going too tin hat. And our rule of thumb is I'll go as tin hat as it goes, as long as I have something concrete. I just need something to tie it into reality, right? Otherwise it's just theory, fiction writing. And I understand that fiction writing and theories that don't have anything that tie into concrete a lot of times open up realistic theories. I understand all of that. But in order to present it, I just want to be able to have something concrete. And I didn't feel like this idea had this before, even though a lot of our viewers were like, you guys, you got to talk on this. You got to look into this. You got to, you know what I mean? And then I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh. There is so much evidence here. Just the simple fact that these messages came out pre-PCA, pre-Brian Kohberger. There are details in here that nobody had. Nobody. Not the families, not and not the victims' families, not the only people who knew this was law enforcement. And they were so tight-lipped. Everyone knows how tight-lipped they are. They've been too tight-lipped, in our opinion. And they have been, and they knew all of it. All of it. They got the timeline correct-ish. That you can't guess that. You can't guess that.
No, there's no way. It's not possible. So, do you want to welcome everybody and then do our intro and then get into it? Hello, Dare Square.
That's Dara.
Dara, yep. Okay.
Yeah, we'll just do a quick hello to everybody.
Ramsey. Hey, Casey. Hey, Ian. Oh no, I hope your connection gets better. Hello, the Mad Chatter. SB, hi. Yeah, I like AR Hayes for sure. Hello, God T. What's up, Madison?
You know what's
Violetta.
You know what's interesting with AR Hayes though is AR Hayes's prison experience is worlds different from a California prison experience, and I would love to talk to him sometimes just to talk about the differences in that. Because there's just some key things that I see that, you know, for a long time, California like outlawed tobacco. So all these California heavy hitters, like California is the big leagues for prison, unfortunately. Like that is the toughest prisons in the country, along with New York. But they have very strict rules that, you know, when I watch AR Hayes, I notice when he's talking about his stuff, I don't think he has to follow a lot of that, or like he's saying some contradicting stuff to what I've seen from friends in California. And I think that's interesting to point out.
Yeah, I think I heard him say he might have done a little bit of time in California, but I think he did a lot more in like Arizona and somewhere else.
Arizona's tough too, man. Arizona's tough.
Hey, Liz. Hey, American Princess. Hello, Ryan from Detroit. Hey, CH. Good to see you.
Yeah, because
and hello, J Ray.
Like one of the things he said is that he was a Wood. I believe he said that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he said he was a Wood, and you can be affiliated. You don't have to be affiliated when you're a Wood, but Woods do not ever hold keys. Ever, 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 ever. Woods are not allowed to hold keys. Period. Only hardcore race supporters are allowed to hold keys in Cali prisons.
I think it would be a good idea to talk with him and maybe dig into some of his knowledge and collaborate. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm meaning it as I'm interested in the difference in demographics because I've lived all over the country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's interesting how you can drive 5 hours, how you can drive 8 hours, and it's literally a whole new world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's super interesting when it comes to crime, criminals, and everything in between.
Hi, Denise. And yes, please hit that like button. Thanks, Casey.
Yeah.
It helps a lot.
Yes. And Arizona is tough. I would say still California is the big leagues for sure, especially the main 2 prisons in California. But a lot of that has spilled over into Arizona.
Okay, I got to step away for like 2 seconds.
Yep. All right, let's pull up some of these details. I will do the intro. Let me just get my mind right real quick. All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay, this is an important picture. This is a really important picture to the story, you guys. And the importance is, when have you ever seen a hot dog with their eyes closed and a tinfoil hat on? My guess is never. No, but really. All right. I appreciate all of you for being here. October 4th, 1986. Man, you got me. I appreciate everyone for being here. Thank you. If you are one of our viewers on, hold on, I'll pull it up here real quick. If you are one of our viewers who is watching the show, rewatching the show on our podcast channel that is on every podcast platform, on Spotify, on Apple, on Amazon, on Google, on everything. If it is a podcast platform, we are on it. So all of these live shows and conversations go into this podcast. So we appreciate all of you. We appreciate everyone that is here with us hanging out tonight and going to have some good conversation around this topic tonight. And we just finished watching the hang on so I can share the picture right here. We just finished watching the Idaho 4chan theory, and that's what I opened this up talking about just a little bit, and really what brought me into it, and the reason why we felt like it was a really good time to start digging into this theory. And really it was all about some of our viewers, and I do think that a lot of them, I do think me digging into this started with you guys on one of our live streams. And I remember you guys saying, hey, go check out Reddit. You need to look up this theory. You need to check this out, you know? And I just didn't see the relevance and the importance behind it. And then this person that is amazing and gets all the credit for this put together a visual timeline of this theory, and it sunk in like it has never sunk in before. So if you guys are rewatchers, you got to come on our YouTube and check this out. Or you can hop over to this podcast here, our second podcast, Riot. And we are the True Crime and Criminal Culture podcast. And this is the long forum episodes. Everything that you see on YouTube is posted on here in long form. So you're looking between 3 and 5 hour episodes. I hate when they're 5 hour episodes, but they've been 5 hour episodes a few times. The editing is just really tough. But yeah, you can always hear all of our topics on there. So yeah, my name's Brendan. This is the True Crime Talk Show.
I can't. And I am Malia, and thanks for being here. I was trying to think of something else to say, because I always just say, I'm Malia. After you just talked for 5 minutes straight.
I can talk nonstop. If someone gives me a microphone, I can talk for 5 minutes or I can talk for 5 hours. I can just keep going. I'm one of those people that can just keep going nonstop.
Hi, Zonia. Good to see you.
All right. So let's dig in. And like I said, this is probably the most important picture on the entire episode here, because I just don't think that many people will see a hot dog with their eyes closed wearing a tinfoil hat. They're like primed for cooking.
How do you guys like the hot dog? I had to stop myself from laughing the entire time. Yeah,
I don't know why, but it automatically made me not want to turn my neck. So the whole time I was just like, I didn't feel right. I felt like I was being offensive if my hot dog had a neck. Okay. All right. So step one in this, you guys, this is what kicked it all off from what everybody knows. And this is weird. This is really strange, right? So somebody on November 20th. So it for you guys that's 1 week after the crime, okay? That is 1 week after 4 people lost their lives that didn't have to lose their lives, right?
Exactly.
And they say, flowers, leaves, and butterflies. Here's a sight to soothe your eyes. A mini forest outside your home. You might even find a gnome. And it gives coordinates. Now, based on everything I was reading and the awesome Reddit post that was put together, there isn't anything out there. Have I confirmed that with my own 2 eyes? I have not. But according to them, there isn't anything out there. There's been some people that have said there are trail cams up in that area. I haven't gone there. I wish I lived closer, because I probably would go there at night wearing all black so I don't get shot. But I don't know for sure. And I just think it's really, really interesting because, one, what's the likelihood someone one, put this together, right? Put the poem together, and then was just like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and hit that coordinates on the map. You know what I mean? There's something there. And this comes off serial killer. That's what it comes off, because serial killers have this need, this infatuation with towing the line of getting caught, or giving just enough information and just enough evidence to like leave clues, leave breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
We've seen all serial killers do it from the beginning of time.
Yeah, the Zodiac killer, I feel like, was the most flamboyant in doing it. And he didn't get caught, which is insane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. But this struck me right away as like, oh my gosh, like I want to go there now. And I started looking it up on the maps, and no, there's nothing there. But isn't the city right there called Garden City?
Yes.
Okay, so I feel like it doesn't matter that there's not a home there. I feel like it doesn't matter.
Yes.
That anything is there or not.
Yes.
I feel like maybe something was dumped there.
Or this is multiple people, and for whatever reason, multiple people did not want any of the evidence. Okay, let's just pretend for a second. For those of you that are just now listening that haven't watched this video before coming on here and listening to this, I would highly suggest you watch it first. Otherwise, I feel like you're going to miss a lot of things. Okay, make sure you hit that like button if you like it when you do watch it. Thank you. Let's say video was taken, okay? A video was taken, like the assumption in these posts that there was some kind of picture, some kind of video. You can't have that evidence on you. You know that your town's about to be flipped upside down. You know that this is a crime that is going to be known on a national level. It's not something you can risk. If you did a criminal act, you cannot have that on any persons, right? You better have a really good hiding spot, or get it way away from you, but you want to be able to look back on it, right? So could this be an area that's shared between these guys in one of the very, 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 very few anonymous spots on the internet because of how this is built, with it being truly anonymous? You know, there are ways to figure it out, but it takes a lot. It takes a lot of resources. Could there be an SD card there? Could there be a storage drive there? You know, what could there be? An old phone, a camera? Could there be what they were wearing and a weapon there? You know what I mean? So that, look, if 4 people did a crime, this is how criminals think, you guys. And I know I haven't put my video out. I will, so that you guys understand some of where my experience and background comes from and why true crime is important to me. But the one thing you think, right, when you do a crime that takes a team, is you think, okay, what kind of risk am I, what kind of liability do I have here with these other people? Most people trust themselves and they don't trust other people. Completely reasonable, by the way, in any situation, whether you're doing a crime or not. You know, we are ourselves. So obviously you're going to have more trust for yourself. So if you want equal liability with nobody having any of the power, would you dump everything that was involved in the crime, where all 4 people know where it is and all 4 people have access to it, so that nobody can roll over? Because if one person rolls over, everybody gets in trouble. So everybody's crime stuff is there.
Yeah, but say you were going to roll, why wouldn't you just go out and take that?
I mean, I wasn't going to get into that because that's normally an afterthought. But look, if I was involved in something crazy, I would say that I was going to do this, and then I would go take it from everybody. So
yeah,
for sure.
Duh.
Yeah. And I would just move it and get rid of it or something, right? Because that fixes a problem. But I don't think those thoughts always come into play right away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. The fact that this was posted only a week after the crime, it's within how far from Pullman?
5 hours. I was wrong. I said 45 minutes. I corrected it in the video when I was doing research, but it's 5 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 5 hours, which is still relatively close for a college.
And this is in Washington?
No, this is in Idaho.
Oh.
Yep. This is in Idaho.
North?
It's Garden City, Idaho. You looked it up.
Yeah, it didn't look that far.
Yeah, it's 5 hours. Yep. So
okay, it's right by Boise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But I think it's still close. I really do. I don't think that's anything to be concerned about. A 5-hour drive, right? You want to get it out of the area.
It's right by Morley Nelson Snake River Birds of Prey National Park.
Yeah. Yeah. And if I'm trying to think analytically in a crime, right? I think that the good decision, let's say, you're somebody who did this crime with 3 other people and you want to make sure that nobody can roll on anybody. So you're all at risk equally here. So you do something like pull the evidence together. One thing you don't want to do is take it over state lines, because then that's a guarantee that that's a guarantee that feds will be involved.
Yeah.
And you, as a criminal, you never want feds involved. You just don't if you can avoid it. Yeah, and especially by I live 2 hours away from Garden. Oh, wow. You only live 2 hours away, Joanne? Man, if I lived that close, I would go there. I mean, I would go there carefully. I would, like I said, dress in all black and probably crawl on my hands and knees until I got there with like a metal detector or something,
When we go check out the tunnels, we got to drive down there.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel like, I feel like that's something I would want to do alone in case somebody does get shot. I don't know. It could be a lure.
Okay.
It could be a lure. Those coordinates are a 12-minute drive from Moscow. Really?
Yeah, that's what I found when I looked it up. The original time.
When I looked it up, so when I pull up those coordinates are Garden City, unless I have a typo, you guys, unless I have a typo. And when you look up Garden City from Moscow, it's 5 hours.
Yeah, but I think it's the wrong Garden City is what I'm thinking, because I believe there's a Garden City over here. In Washington. Let me find it again.
Well, that's interesting and would be good to know. So they talk about a gnome in here. Yes, Mountain Mama. Thank you. We appreciate that. Likes are always appreciated. So they talked about a gnome in here. Okay. So let me explain where these pictures came from. So this is, oh wait, I'm missing a picture. Dang it, my editing, because I was going too fast, man. I was trying to edit so fast to try and get this up today, and I almost didn't make it. That's why the premiere had to go live at 8:30 and not 8:15, because YouTube was stuck, man. It wouldn't load it anymore. I got to like 8:10 p.m. and I'm like, oh, come on. But so I have 4 pictures. Let me pull up the 4th one here. But this has a connection to Kohberger's house, according to the OG poster. This right here, can you guys see? Okay, there you can. Okay, so this is Brian Kohberger's parents' home before they moved in there. This is not their furniture. This is none of their stuff. But according to them, the OG poster, this little scenic area that, you know, has gnomes and a little garden tree, whatever. Yeah. Strange, right?
What the heck?
That's what I said. That's what I said. So you have one of two things. Either I look at that before getting into any more of the story, and I think, okay, either Kohberger was involved, but because he wasn't a fraternity brother, that's an easy person to turn on, or he wasn't involved at all, and this was planned in some way because they got a hold of a knife. You know?
Yeah.
I think anybody that's going to commit a crime where you end somebody, your first thought, dude, even if you have no experience being a criminal, your first thought is, who's going to be the fall guy?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And according to these posts that we're going to read in just a little bit, somebody had been planning this beforehand. Somebody had been planning this beforehand. They had it down enough where somebody that's claiming they are not involved knew exactly how they would do it, which is really interesting in my opinion. Don't you think?
Yeah,
I think it's super interesting in my opinion. So, yes, hello, Dare Square.
It's Dara.
I know.
Okay.
I told you that just a minute ago.
I know. That's why I was confused why you were mispronouncing it.
Okay, so I have not confirmed. Yeah, the house right here.
What is that little house?
It's the background to this house. So whoever lived there loved gnomes. Now this picture here, you guys.
I mean, it's the backyard.
Yep. This picture here is one of the surviving roommates.
No way.
Yeah.
That's in her room?
Yes.
Do we know it's her room, or is it somewhere she just took a picture?
I don't know that. I don't, because I can't tell you what her room looked like. So I don't know that, but I know this is a picture of her, and it is her. Hang on. What did I search? Dang it. Hold on. I'll pull it up for you guys. Give me just a second here, because we go a little bit deeper. Who doesn't like to go a little bit deeper?
Gosh, that was a creepy picture.
Hang on. These are all my editing pics. It's a lot. Here, you talk for a sec while I find this.
I'm just looking into the coordinates right now, because when I looked it up when we were on the stream, it didn't look that far from Moscow or Pullman.
Okay, here we go. All right. Let me just say, you guys, I am not trying to make the connection that one of the surviving roommates is involved, okay? I am not trying to make the connection one of the surviving roommates is involved. I personally don't agree with pointing the finger in that way. I think that I'm comfortable saying we have a lot of questions. We have a lot of questions, and there are a lot of things that need answered from this person or people, right? And I think that's fair, but I'm just not at a place where I'm willing to say somebody was involved in that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to be clear before I share this, that is not what I'm saying, because we don't know if this is their room. We don't know if this is in their house. We don't know if she's at a dude's house. We don't know where they're at, right?
What the heck is up with this little baby and this man?
I don't know.
Like, it looks like it's a black and white picture almost.
Yeah.
But it almost looks like they're in a bathroom. There's like toilet paper.
Yeah.
I don't know. This picture is really weird.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. So interesting, right? To me, that looks like a gnome. So for you guys that don't know, gnomes, okay. I don't know how many of you have done mind-altering substances, mind-expanding substances, right? But mushrooms are connected with gnomes, you guys. And anybody that is an avid mushroom user or has been an avid mushroom user will know about the gnomes. It is just, it goes hand in hand, okay? And when you go on journeys, mind-altering journeys and expansion and things like that, they talk about the mushroom gnomes. To me, that's what it looks like, is what people believe a mushroom gnome to be like. And they're supposed to have big giant heads with big giant cones on their head and little bitty legs and little bitty arms. And I feel like that's what that is that we're seeing right here. And it gives me the vibe that it's a mushroom type picture. So again, that doesn't imply guilt. That doesn't imply anything. Nothing. But it's interesting that we're seeing gnomes, right?
Yeah, we don't walk on eggshells with the survivors. We'll ask those questions.
Yeah.
I think that there's so far no reasonable explanation for the delay in the phone call. In the video, if you guys didn't get to watch it, I basically theorized and said my opinion is that, like, because it keeps coming down to why are they the survivors?
Yeah.
Why? Because it doesn't make sense for someone to leave witnesses, and it doesn't make sense that they're alive.
Yeah. So SB, socially, I think you're right, but personally for us, I don't think that would be true. I feel like we're pretty good about making sure we treat all sexes in the same way. So I think even if it was guys, I would be saying the same thing, just because I try really, 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 really hard not to point fingers without something concrete, right? And right now we don't have anything concrete other than major questions. But no, I agree with you.
I mean, I didn't get to finish talking.
Oh, well then you should have been like, hey, I didn't get to finish talking. No, I know, SB.
I don't know.
What?
Continue.
Okay, so
I was just basically saying they either knew the victim, they either knew the survivors, they knew Dylan and Bethany.
Yeah.
Or there's something else we can't see. Or they're like highly inexperienced, and at that point, maybe they were afraid of cops getting called or something. But
yeah. Yes. Yeah, and you know what's funny, you guys, on that same topic around mushrooms is there are a lot. Have you guys ever heard the mushroom theory? So there's a mushroom theory out there that Christmas and Santa Claus and all that stuff came directly from mushrooms, because people that have taken mushrooms, like I said, have seen gnomes for as long as humankind has been around. And there's this Christmas mushroom that is a red top, like a really round red top with white spots on it, and they call it like the Christmas shroom or something like that. And what they used to do is they would eat a whole bunch of them because they aren't very potent, and these mushrooms that are red with white spots would turn into like Santa looking gnomes, and that created Santa Claus from this mushroom. I have no idea if that's true, none whatsoever, but it's super interesting. Yeah. Yes. Yep. All right. Yeah. So Garden City. Did you ever get it looked up?
Google won't find it.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
And I don't have the brain space to pay attention and look into it more. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that what it's called? Amanita? I don't remember the exact terms. The mushroom theory is so interesting, Ian. I bet you would like it. It is super interesting, the correlations and connections they make to draw they give you almost like a timeline of how mushrooms have enhanced our current holidays today. It's interesting. It's interesting stuff. But yeah, so this is the first post that I saw putting this together. Actually, we'll just go to the full one. And the reason why I put Sigma Chi down here, you guys, is according to the original poster. So when I say original poster, not the one that put this together on Reddit, but the original poster in 4chan, every message is pointing at Sigma Chi. So I honestly would I honestly, it would be misrepresentation if we said it any other way, right? And this goes along the same lines where even with the surviving roommates, the last thing that I'm trying to do is make it seem like someone's guilty that's not. We're just building a theory here and then digging out the possibility of it being a realistic theory, you know?
Right.
So here, let me see where it does all of them. Oh, right here. We'll get to all of them, but all right. So this is interesting. Are you almost done? So what?
Nothing. It's just it's saying that doesn't exist. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
I feel
it's
like
not that important.
Google's blocking me right now or something.
We'll figure it out later. So this is really interesting, you guys. So in this post, this is somebody responding to the original poster, just to be clear in this situation. So this picture right here largely is the person responding, and they say, okay, in relation to original poster's pic, OP, last night a guy posted a bunch of weird messages which looked like nothing posts and were largely ignored. They posted coordinates which led to a nearby location next to the crime scene. Today, the user posted the same message, which I said made no sense. He insulted me after and said I was illiterate. In the next thread, the same user posts a pic related with the file name illiterate. Interesting. So this person is actually responding to and talking to somebody that is like, hey, what's going on here? Like, what is that picture? You know what I mean? And what really sucks, the reason why I said that I wished that I was on 4chan when these were coming out is if I could get an original picture, not a post that's been I assume this has been like snipped out, right? That they've snipped this.
Screenshotted after screenshot after screenshot. Yeah.
Yeah. But that can create an extra layer to where you're not able to edit and adjust the original photo. So I tried, you guys. I put it in my editing software. I tried to play around with it, but the original layer isn't there. I can't adjust the pixels. I can't do anything. And I don't know if you guys can see this here. It might be too dark for you guys, but there's a little pixelation right here. If you follow my mouse, I'll outline it.
You should have just drawn an actual outline.
I probably should have, but I was in a hurry. I wanted to get this out today because we might be going on a show for our next day. So, what if I had to guess, you guys? Here, let me see if I can figure out. Let me see if I can get a picture showing you. So, picture from head point to. Ugh. Hang on here.
That was a weird way to search that.
Yeah, picture from head 2 feet. Hopefully they
You mean like taking a picture straight down on top of somebody?
Yes.
Okay, so
not straight down. No.
Okay.
Here, hang on. I'll just take a picture and show you guys. That's easier. I think it looks like that.
Oh.
That outline, I think, looks like that. Hang on. Give me 1 second, and I'll be able to show you what I mean. Okay. Okay, so can you guys see there? Yeah. Good enough to see the outline, right?
Yeah, you just need to be able to see the outline.
The pixels are going to be around here, and that looks like what I outlined here. So it comes, this would be the head right here. Arm, feet, arm, head. I hope that made sense. I will put out a post, a community post, where I will actually outline it and use the picture that I just did right there.
Wait, your feet weren't in your picture, though.
I mean, yeah, you get the point, though. You get the point. It looks like it could be somebody taking a picture of somebody or taking a picture of yourself laying down. So from head down to feet, that is the rough outline that you would get. There's 2 small pixels right here. There's larger pixels here, and then a large pixel here. So it would be the angle that you're at, where it would look like a blob, just one big blob with arms and then a head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying now?
Yeah, you got to do a community post.
I will. I'll do a community post and do a side-by-side to compare it. But it looks like that could be that, which I thought was interesting. And I just stared at that picture probably for at least 45 minutes today, just trying to figure it out. And then another hour playing with it to see if I can edit, to see if I can pull out highlights, midtones, lowlights, anything that would make it better. But it is not the original. I can't mess with any of it. Nothing. So the pixels in this, you guys, are huge. They are big pixels. Somebody covered it.
Wait.
What?
Are you guys telling us what it is? Heather, it's her and a few other girls there laughing, and Xana is talking and talking. Oh, maybe you guys are talking about something else. If anybody's actually seen the original, definitely let us know, though. Oh.
The original what?
The original post, 4chan post.
Oh, no way.
Here.
You should send it to me.
Yeah, you should send them to us. I'm going to post our email in the chat if you don't mind reaching out and sending us the originals if you have them. We would really appreciate that.
Yeah. I'm usually pretty good with editing stuff. So that's interesting, though, because the amount of times that this person posted this, in my opinion, makes me feel like they're getting something from it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're gaining something from posting this out there. There's something going on, like teasing. I haven't figured out how to work out 4plebs yet, so I'm new to 4chan. ignored. Today.
But thank you, SB.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So, this was so interesting though. And does anyone know when people started making this connection?
So if it's in the archived 4chan, you guys are talking about using like the Wayback Machine, like Internet Archives?
Yeah, 4plebs.
So what is the URL then? Because you have to type in the URL. Like I don't know which group
right
this
here.
was posted to.
Bam.
Okay.
That's it. That should be everything you need from everything that I understand with this.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Is that post ID gives you everything. Yeah, that's super interesting, LC. So Wiktionary from ancient Greek, gnome is thought or opinion. So technically we are a gnome riot. Is that our show? That from Wiktionary or ancient Greek, gnome is also like synonymous with thought, opinion from the base of no. So technically we could be gnome riot. Okay, so
I think that goes toward the conspiracy theory that you're the killer.
Right. High probability, some brothers are aware. Rogaine has ample opportunities and will play grieving boyfriend. What am I missing here? Electrician's gloves. So I want to look that up.
When I search that number that you said on 4plebs, it doesn't pop up. So it says error.
Okay. Electrician's gloves.
They're just those rubber gloves, right?
Yeah. Which, I mean, they're good gloves to use.
Yeah.
They absolutely are.
They are.
They are good gloves to use. There's no aeration. There's no way that your skin cells are going to be getting out. It probably honestly helps grip a weapon too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Help with any slipping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi Pebbles, don't worry about it. And J-Ray said gnome peaceful protest. That could be like our alt channel. Instead of Thought Riot.
Yes. That would be hilarious. Super funny. But yeah, I thought this is a good glove to wear. I have nothing that you could say about that. I feel like that covers all bases. So the fact that they're talking about this and it's only, 3 weeks or 4 weeks after the crime occurred, there is something there. The more I think about this, the more I feel like there's something there.
Now, who is Rogaine?
Put on baggy clothes after and walk away. I don't know. I was going to try not to name people, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure who these nicknames are. I would assume that people know that have figured this out and have known about this situation for a while, because there were people questioning this in December. I mean, it looks like based on where the police were searching, where we talk about later in this, the police were onto this.
Mm-hmm.
and then they got a DNA profile, and that's it. Out of here.
So is this where...
What?
By the way, B's
works
dad
for a professional cleaning company.
So did people think it was Beth? They were saying Beth's dad?
I don't...
Like Bethany Funk? That's where that rumor came from?
I'm not sure.
I think so. Sure. I think people were assuming it was Beth.
That's such a weird statement. I'm tempted to think that doesn't have anything to do with it, because the only other possibility is that whoever B is, they're assuming what? They went to their dad and like, hey dad, I ended this person last week. You got to clean that up for me, bro. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like that's possible. I mean, if it is, whoa.
Unless they don't mean a professional cleaning company, as in someone who goes and cleans offices or homes, but like they mean like
what? Fixer?
A fixer.
Still, you got to come clean. And you think that fraternities are just people looking out for other people. I'm not bought into this idea that there's like crazy ritual cult stuff going on. I'm sure there are people in these fraternities, brotherhoods, sororities, cults, and things like that do those things. We know that. We know there are people that do these things. I'm not saying that they don't, but to think like there's this idea and expectation that a student could go to their parent and be like, hey, I helped end 4 people this weekend. I need you to take care of this. We think that's just a common thing. That is an uncommon situation, in my opinion. No?
Yeah.
That would be the uncommon route.
It would.
But who knows?
There was a professional cleaning company there backed into the front door with a ramp and a trailer. Yeah, I recall seeing that, Candace, at the home.
Yeah. Good call out. Good call out.
I thought Rogaine is Jack because the post says Kaylee was just a casualty. Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. I know, Liz, that is a really good theory. It's a really good theory. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, the Snyder thing is nagging at me too.
What, his
the professor.
It's weird, but I know people are making it seem like where I feel strange about hopping on board with that is people are making it seem like this one man controls all their pay. So he has like all this power over them. And I would question the entire university if this one person controls this pay. That it's got to be a board, and he's a board member.
Yeah. That doesn't really make sense for one person to control the whole sheriff department's pay.
Yeah, because like universities, and this has been a very successful university. The fact that, and the reason why I'm saying that is because the fact that they could afford to buy University of Phoenix when it was an outrageous price, in my opinion, with all the issues, legal, federal, tax issues that they have. And they're going to pay that amount for the Phoenix University. Their business model has been successful. They've been doing good business. They talked about pulling out $150 million from the essentially stocks, okay, from their savings, and putting that as a down towards University of Phoenix. That's substantial. That means that they have income, they have backup, they have money. So they're running a successful business model, and a successful business model would never give the power of choosing how much your police officers make to one person. I'm assuming that it's all done automatically in a computer system like every other company.
Yeah, I mean, that would be weird if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I see conflicting information about who Rogaine is. It sounds like people have narrowed it down to 2 people, though.
Yeah. I personally didn't want to go into the names specifically anyways. You know, I don't want to feel like I'm doxing somebody.
You're not doxing anybody.
Yeah.
These are all known people. They post all over the internet. Their names, a part of this fraternity and university. And we're not giving away anything that
this is
public.
This is just implying guilt, and I personally don't want to be a part of that. So I feel like I can talk about the theory without implying guilt on them.
Yeah.
So this is super interesting though. This is one of the more interesting posts.
Okay.
I have it on good authority. My cousin, a cousin's cop in a nearby town, but called into the Moscow crime once school started back up. Apparently, the investigation is looking directly at the Sigma Chi frat party Ethan and Xana attended from 8 to 9 that night. He did not have any update on their timeline after they left from 9 to 1:45, but did say it looks like the investigation is zoning in on 2 suspects from the party that night, and an update should be publicly named by the end of the week. Sigma has made their socials private and removed all info from Facebook going back a few years. That would be very interesting to find out when that happened. When I'm reading that, that's my first thought is, when did that happen? Can we see when the deletion and private of the Facebook happened? And was it a community thing? Did all of the fraternities and sororities do it at once? He did not have an update on their timeline after they left from 9 to 1:45, but did say that it looks like the investigation. Okay, I just read that. Sorry.
You're not sharing the screen.
Okay. Yep. They believe I have to do it at least one time a night. So they believe Ethan and Xana were the main targets, stemming from an argument that night. Downstairs, survivors could hear 2 males rummaging through the room above them. Figured it was an after party, locked the doors, and went to bed. When they discovered them in the morning, about 30 minutes before the 911 call, they called their friends at Sigma to come over, who in turn called the police. It's right across the street, and for whatever reason, they believed it was people from Sigma upstairs around 2:15 that night. The back door was left open, one dead in bed, the other blocking the room's door with their body. Police just updated their Facebook to reiterate they are not looking into the activities of that night. Only the murders, which to me suggests something went on, fight, drugs, etc., and spilled into anger later that night and got them ended. Also, didn't want to release profile they created as it would cause undue fear in the community. Yeah, interesting. So
that's a lot of detail.
A lot of details. A lot. Like, this is a mic drop post here. A huge mic drop post here. This is the kind of post that I would expect to get from a police officer heavily invested in the case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this happened before PCA. I'm so shocked that I haven't looked into this before. Like, when I was creating this, it was making me feel dumb that I haven't looked into it before. There's so much evidence here that is like, what? Head scratch.
Exactly. You know? It's too much detail.
And it's not tin hat theory. Like, there is picture evidence. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is definitely too much.
It's strange. It is strange stuff. Yeah, I think if man,
they believed it was at 2:15.
I don't think that I would be comfortable saying, hey, the fraternities are involved. I think that a fraternity is similar to like police, right? We have crooked police. We've seen crooked police in the Dr. Moore case. And then those same crooked police worked the Brian Kohberger case, right? And because those police are crooked doesn't mean that the whole department is crooked or the whole state is crooked, even though a lot of people would look at that and feel like that in some way. This is, I feel like, is a similar situation where you probably have 2 to 4 people that are sociopaths, like serial killer nature. And that shouldn't drag down the whole fraternity. And I think that's probably one of my biggest mistakes in not looking into this before, is because it's easier to say, hey, the whole fraternity's dirty, the whole fraternity is in question, the whole this, the whole that. I had a hard time buying into that, just because I feel like that's kind of harsh, right? Or am I wrong in thinking that? I don't think it's fair to say, hey, a whole fraternity is dirty.
Well, it depends on if the president of the fraternity is running it a certain way. They're young people, they're very impressionable, they want to be cool, they want to be liked. So when you're in a group like that, you're going to be willing to bend and do things that you wouldn't ordinarily do to be accepted. Hence why hazing happens and people die from it, because it's just, there's a lot behind that. But
yeah, it's real. I mean,
there's just a lot of issues with frats and sororities, honestly.
Yeah. But I think that's what I'm trying to say is, while those issues are there, that doesn't because there's issues there doesn't necessarily mean that the entire frat is criminal. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I mean, I don't think you can ever look at something like that, like encompass everyone into, lump them all in like they're all complicit. Maybe some didn't know.
Right.
Because they didn't feel like they could trust them. But fraternities are meant to, like,
look out for their own. I get it. Yeah. And they're very successful at it. Yeah. Very successful. I mean, humans are, we're what's that called? I'm having an ADHD moment.
What?
Group people. Like we like being around other people. We like, tribal, duh. We're very tribal people, and it's inherent in us to be tribal. So it's very easy for us to be pushed into doing things that we wouldn't necessarily do otherwise,
Yeah.
And I think that fraternities can bring up, like, what I've seen a couple people say around, like, the elitist idea. And I've known people that have been in fraternities, and the school I went to only had one fraternity, you guys. But I've known people that were in fraternities that were really, really, really good people. And it's not like they got into a fraternity and started turning. Our main stomping grounds, partying areas, was ASU. ASU, if you look back in like 07, 08, 09, 2010, up to 2012, I believe, was the #1 party school in the nation, with no comparison. No one else could compare to it. They had whole block parties every night, literally, like the craziest parties I've seen. It was like Santa Barbara on Halloween, and Santa Barbara is legendary. And we used to go and hang out with the fraternities and sororities, and we'd drive out there just to party for a week straight. And there were a lot of really good people, and I highly doubt that these same people are going to be going in the shadows and ending people. And they're like,
who is saying that the whole fraternity is just horrible and criminal.
That's the idea that is pushed a lot of times when we're talking about these topics.
I don't think so. I think people are saying frat because they're not naming. That's just a short way of saying these people are part of this frat because they believe several people in that specific frat house are involved.
Okay.
I don't think
that's
that
fair.
People are trying to push that the whole frat is criminal. I think that's just a way of speaking, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and I think that's possible. And I'm just trying to explain why I had such a hard time buying into this.
Oh, like you, okay.
Because I felt like that was wrong. And I think it could be too because of, I used to be a troublemaker. I used to do criminal stuff, and I came from that. So people can do bad things and change. There can be good people in a fraternity that has bad people in it. You know what I mean? Like that same idea. Mm-hmm. So this 19 minutes is crazy. Insane. This is evidence of the 4 people before the crime. If this is real, right? We're assuming that the crime happened between 2:53 and 3:12. So this is visual confirmation of 4 males, seeming males, before the crime, and then we see 4 men wearing hoods or boys after running by the camera. And that is 19 minutes.
You know, bushy eyebrow guy and the band filled that night?
Uh-huh.
You think he was like a lookout? Because he's in Sigma Chi.
I mean, there were a lot of kids coming from that area all at once. And what's interesting is I know you guys have seen this post where there were a lot of content creators that watch those 3 guys that are in front of the car and say, hey, watch when the car goes by, and they are scared. I don't think it's about the car. I think it could be, if this is real, about the guys that have ran by.
Yeah, but he wasn't looking that way.
Yeah, he was looking straight where they would be running.
Oh, okay. Into the field.
Because the cop is facing him. He's this way, and then the road is right behind the cop, from my understanding. Or am I thinking backwards? Is it flipped?
No, I think you're right, but you'd have to confirm the time.
Yeah, we would have to confirm the time, that if it's right at 3:12. Does anyone have that footage like real easy pulled up? Let me see. I might have it in Twitter. You know what? I was just looking at. Sorry, go ahead.
With the whole like Brian possibly trading his knife for drugs, like in a lot of situations like that where you're, going to cop something and say you have a really cool knife or really cool something, a knife would be of particular interest to people who are criminals.
For sure.
So I feel like it's not unheard of. Like if you combined the statistics with relapse, okay? And Brian was clearly having a hard time. He was being targeted by a professor and who was trying to get him fired. And something like that, where you feel like maybe everything you just worked for could be ending, could make you relapse.
Yes.
So he's having a really hard time at the university being a TA. He's being targeted by this professor and he relapses. And he goes out to cop, and he knows he's heard Moscow is a good place to do it, maybe, or who knows? It could have been Emma and Demetrius and Pullman, because they went over there to deal.
Yes.
Maybe somebody's like, oh, hey, I like that knife.
Yeah.
Here, I'll trade you. I'll give you all this if you give me that.
Yes. I think that's a really, really, really good point. I do.
And it would explain the skin cells under the button, because it was his own personal knife. Like for a long time, then somebody wipes it down and
there's still some left under the button.
Course.
Yeah. Yeah, and that would be game over. So and that's part of the reason why, you guys, we have done all these videos here. Hang on, I'll get to that. Because I notice we have a few new people in here. So just the quick rundown. Where are we? Bam. And that's the reason why we've been looking into each piece of evidence one by one, right? So we have talked about the sheath chain of custody. We've talked about pre-Kohberger and what the investigation looked like. We've dug into the expert perspectives of GPS satellite data, because that happens to be my area of expertise after working in that industry for 15 years. We looked into the read technique and if Idaho uses that. You went through all the search warrants detail by detail. We looked into DNA evidence.
Well,
we
not
looked into
all
cell
of the search
tower.
warrants, just some of the newer ones, not all.
Yeah,
of them.
but you got all the important parts though. So you read them all. You pulled out the important parts for that time frame. So I would say that that's still an expert topic. We touched on character assassination, what that looks like in this case and what that has looked like in other cases. You know, we've gone through a lot of these details one by one. Now, any good case that, okay, I guess preface, there's no such thing as a perfect crime. There's no such thing as a perfect case. There's no such thing as a perfect anything when it comes to the legal system, criminals, and justice, right? It just doesn't exist because we're flawed people. Now, one case should never, ever, or it's a bad case, be able to pull one piece of evidence out and have it fall apart. Now, I want you guys to ask yourselves, if I remove the sheath, just take it off the table, what would happen to that case?
Well, you're also pulling away what is in most minds of most people who believe he's guilty, the most important piece of evidence is the sheath for most people, I think.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I think that is the most important piece of evidence. I really, really do. However, if you've watched or looked into the DNA aspects of it, we know that trace DNA and touch DNA isn't as reliable. It is not anywhere in the same realm, in the same universe as somebody doing a knife crime, their hand slipping, they're cutting their own hand and there is blood there. That is not anywhere near the same. So understanding that and how shoddy that DNA is, the fact that we're an outlier in the world. The USA is an outlier in the world with trace DNA. Most every other country in the world does not allow trace DNA in their court system because it's unreliable. Our own military does not allow trace DNA to be used because of its unreliability.
You know what proves that to me is the fact that there has been cases, one using touch DNA and then disproven using touch DNA. Like somebody has been convicted and then exonerated using the same piece of evidence.
I know.
That blows my mind.
Yeah.
And I think anybody who wants to say that, you know, touch DNA is this perfect exact thing should go take a look at those cases.
Yeah, I mean, I have the case in here that we literally cover this case right here.
Yeah.
This is the case.
Good calling out, Rumsey. October 26th. That's what we're waiting for right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, yeah.
I don't think it's going to get dismissed, though, unfortunately.
I'm not bought into his evidence. I am not somebody who's bought into his, bought into his innocence. I'm sorry. I'm not bought into his innocence. I just want to see more evidence.
Well, that's why I'm waiting for that court hearing, because I'm so curious what they're going to bring to the table.
Yeah, agreed. I just, the way you said it made it sound like that's what, like, we're on Brian's side. I am not willing to take sides still today, right now. I will not. I don't want to be. I'm worried about becoming biased if I commit to him being innocent or him being guilty. And I think that it is a realistic possibility that the prosecution does have more evidence, which could throw any of these theories out the window. Now, that doesn't make any of these theories less important. It makes them more important, because if for some reason they're able to prove some other kind of theory out there, then these other theories reaffirm that theory, because wild theories also reaffirm theories at the same time. That's why it's so important. Cops especially, do not look at a case like this. You know what I mean?
Well, they shouldn't.
No.
And that's why I don't understand why people come on mainstream media and even other podcasts and stuff, and they say, not to make up stupid theories, not to engage in speculation. Trust the cops. Trust them. Just trust them. They let it play out.
Oh, shoot.
What do you think the cops do when they investigate? They create theories based off evidence.
Yes,
they do not. They always call it a theory.
Yeah.
They do not say, okay, we got all of this evidence. This is the facts. This is exactly what happened, and we know it for 100% sure. They may feel that way, but they still call it a theory.
Yeah, because it is.
Because it can be disproven in court.
I mean, look at Don't F with Cats. So, what's funny is people put down the public, or like us, bringing up opposing theories all the time. But Chief Fry came out, you guys, pre-Kohberger, came out. He was standing in the motor pool of Moscow PD and literally pleading with the public to help us out. Please, if you know anybody with a white Hyundai Elantra from this year to this year, if you know friends, if you know friends of friends, if you have family that knows friends of friends, please reach out to us and share that information. They were pleading for help. Okay. So the fact that when you need something from the public, but then you're like, okay, we got your Hyundai Elantra. Now, just shut your mouth. Come on. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I saw somebody in here in the chat say they were talking about Ted Bundy. I think you would be surprised about.
You passed it. It's right here.
Oh, yeah. I think you would be surprised. I think there are a lot of women that find Brian Kohberger attractive. I think he is considered an attractive person. He's pretty average, white, attractive looking, And what's funny is Ted Bundy, like, he's the serial ender that all serial enders want to be. And he was such a good manipulator. He never had to take any of his victims by grabbing them. They all came willing. Like, people wanted Ted Bundy. It's so strange. And I'm covering a Ted Bundy topic this week, so I was just refreshing up on that. And it is watching his mannerisms, because I'm a salesperson, you guys. For anybody that's new in here, sales is what I've done my whole life, right? So how I move my body, my tonality, how I say things, how I present things, in what order I present them, how close I'm standing to somebody, all those things are really important. And when I watch Ted Bundy in the courtroom, he is so intentional with everything. He knows every single thing he's doing. He's blinking with intention. He's saying with intention. His sideways looks and smiles and glances at the judge and the lady typing, like, he is an expert manipulator.
It's creepy.
If he would have not been a serial ender and had been an attorney, his success rate would be through the roof. He would be literally one of the all-time most successful attorneys ever. ever, you guys.
Yeah, he would have. And that's, you know, I saw one of you in the chat mentioning earlier that Brian, as a PhD student, I've heard this actually said a few times, he wouldn't have had time to do something like this, or it doesn't really make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Like, he has so much going for him. I will mention Ted Bundy had a lot going for him, and he quit all of it to go focus on his obsession of killing people, to literally go on a killing spree.
I know, dude. It is so crazy.
Like an addiction, like needing that next fix kind of thing, to where his whole life, like, he just abandoned his whole normal life.
Yeah. Yeah. But okay, so Josiah Sutton, who I have on the screen here, so we can get kind of back into where we were. So Josiah Sutton was found guilty with DNA evidence, okay? He was found guilty, and the DNA expert came into court and said, "Hey, court, I am 100% certain that Josiah Sutton is the suspect, that he 100% did this crime." And they convicted him, and they put him away, and they threw away the key. Now, the Innocence Project came. He was able to get representation again. They hired their own expert in analysis and looked back at that same DNA, and that DNA was found less than 10% of a match. What? Less than 10%. That's so crazy. It is so crazy. But yeah, if you guys are curious, make sure you go check out our, I don't know where that was, but that's okay. It does. Oh, you know what? It was this one. If you guys are curious and want to look through all the expert topics, I think we've covered the Sheath's chain of custody, we got DNA, we got cell phone, we got GPS data, we got everything in here, you guys. So even the financials around the college, you did this one also, and that's such a good video. How we came up with the numbers that 40% of the students that they were losing equaled over $150 million annually. That is the kind of risk they had by not arresting someone. $150 million. Wild stuff. Wild stuff. But okay, so according to this body cam footage, right? And I did pull this up too, so we can look through it. Make sure you guys, you know, this is our talk show BFF here, Drip Drop. And make sure you guys check his content out. I'm going to play just a little bit here. We normally don't play other content creators' stuff without their approval. But we're just going to do a smidget of his video that shows those 4 guys running. Okay, so this right here is this right here. Okay.
Sharing it, Brendan.
12 a.m. on November 13th.
Right here. 4 people just ran by.
All right.
He slows it down in just a second.
Yep. It is 4 people in what seems like big clothing, you guys, with hoods.
Let's take another look and slow it down.
Yeah, we don't know who the cowboys are, Ryan. We think they might be marshals, though.
All right, so this is extra slow. Let's see. Hood, right? Covered hood. Another hood, you can see it overlapping right there. And another hood. And too quick to tell. I don't know if that's a hood, but I'm assuming it is, right? 4 people, 4 very distinct people. Very distinct.
There appears to be a
4 very distinct people, right? And that is this right here. So from the first verification video of 2:53 a.m. to 3:12, where they are caught running, and this is them right here, right? So where the police were at is right here, pulling someone over, and these guys hook this corner left, and the original poster is making the assumption that they're going here to Sigma Chi.
So, where's that original video?
What original?
This one.
This one's harder to find. It's the cop driving around. I don't even know where I have it right now. We'll have to pull it up another time, because otherwise I'm just gonna go digging forever.
I mean, there isn't really another time. We're gonna be covering other things, but
I just don't have it ready right now. I didn't even plan on covering this video. But I'll link it in the description. Okay, so I'm super curious about this. This is one of the things that I highlighted in the video that I don't understand. So, got a bid because our house GPA sucked and the NC was on our butts. What? Got a bid? A bid for what?
the NC. What's the NC?
I don't know. Help me out here, guys. I don't know. I'm not sure.
A bid can be like a stint in jail. I've heard it that way before.
Huh.
But someone
got
said
a bid because our house GPA sucked.
Bid to pledge.
Oh, okay.
National chapter of the fraternity.
Oh.
Got a bid.
Yeah, a couple people have said national chapter.
Yeah, thank you guys.
I
think a bid is like a suspension or something like that.
Got a national chapter because our house GPA sucked. And the NC. Oh, NC is national chapter. Got it. Yep. So they're probably talking about a cleaning service. It just clicked. So they got a bid for a cleaning service because their house grandpa, whoever that is, sucked and the national chapter was on their butts, right? Which that's interesting because if there was just a crime committed in the house, that would be beneficial to have the house cleaned, right? You know what I mean? Especially if there was a fight in there. Or am I way off, you guys? I think it's interesting.
Somebody was mad that she was with Rogaine. So we do know it's Jake. Because that was her boyfriend. That
Jack?
confirms that. No. Not Jack.
Who's Jake?
Maddie's boyfriend. Madison Mogan's boyfriend.
It was Jake?
Yes. His name was Jake.
Okay.
No? Why are you saying no, J. Ray?
I've just never heard that before, ever.
Somebody was just saying that in the chat.
Yeah, I don't.
GPA is grade point average.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
That's so funny.
That is funny. Dude, I was having such a hard time in this video saying these, reading these.
A house bunny, Regina. That's a
So
good point.
GPA sucks is grades. Got it. Got it. So the national chapter was and my bad, my fault.
Yeah, that makes sense. GPA. It's their GPA.
Unscripted here, guys. It happens. And I appreciate it when you guys throw tomatoes at me. So their GPA sucked and the national chapter was on their butts. So then what is the bid for then? I'm still super curious. I don't understand that concept. I feel like I'm missing something.
I think a bid means like some kind of like punishment. That's what I'm guessing. So their house grade point average sucked. So the national chapter was on their butts.
Yeah.
So somebody got in trouble. And who would have gotten in trouble for that? Would it have been the leader, like whoever was the president of the frat? Who's the president of the frat?
I don't know that. I'm not sure. I'm going through a lot of these details with you guys, and that's why I was so excited to get this posted today, because I wanted to go through it with our viewers. But yeah, Bryce made a couple comments about like drugs or some things like that. To be fair, you guys, people that have no experience in that life, that's a very common viewpoint. Obviously, anybody that has been associated with that stuff knows that that's not the case. But I also think it's up to us who have experience in that to help people learn and understand why somebody who's battled with dope does not make them a criminal.
Okay, so you guys are saying a bid is someone joining.
Got it.
So, okay. Michael, invitation to the frat due to the low grade point average to help raise it.
Okay. Got it.
So then are they then saying that person that got the invitation is a schizo?
No, schizo is one of the nicknames for the dudes.
Okay, but then why is this redacted? I assumed this was a name.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't speak new age frat, you guys. But I feel like we're making progress here. Dirty also pissed she was with Rogaine. Got it. Yeah, and I noticed this little editing error right here, you guys, too. I don't know if you guys saw this, but this is just, it says Mads equals Maddie, E equals Ethan, for people that are watching this that aren't going through it with us. You know what I mean? So, interesting.
Pebbles said the low grade point average would prevent them from taking new pledges.
Got it.
I mean,
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I think they put the whole house on probation. I have heard that. Okay, that.
But maybe it was before they were put on probation and they were doing it to try to raise it themselves.
Yeah, not 100% sure there. Hey, hello. No. Hey, Angel. And for everyone else that we haven't been saying hi to because we've been so invested in the conversation, hello, everybody. We're super stoked that you're here. We hope you're having a good time listening. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to put them out there. We want to be a platform that supports people that believe in all theories and opinions. So if you're somebody that believes he's guilty, feel confident and that nobody's going to, be a jerk to you that when you share your opinion. If you feel like he's innocent, you're going to get the same response. I'm somebody who I don't know. I will not commit to his guilt or innocence right now because I don't have enough information. I don't have enough answers. I think that it's a real possibility the prosecution could have more evidence, but I also see some real issues with the police investigation here that I have some major questions with. So, one of the things that we do is we cover different theories. We've talked on the drug theory to see what kind of connections we can make. The way that I look at these videos is like one of those string walls that you put up, and let's see what dots we can connect. This is another one of those theories, because let's just theorize that Brian Kohberger gets let off. Okay. That's scary. That means if something gets Brian off because he's legitimately innocent and they don't have an arrest for the real person that did this, we're just going to have somebody or somebodies running around in the general population and public that could, at a drop of a dime, end for people. You know what I mean? I think it's our job to talk about these other theories as the general public. If we want to create a better place for us to live and a better society, we have to be asking these questions, man.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate that, guys.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, J. Ray. I appreciate that. I tried so hard to read these good when we were recording this video. I felt so lame reading them. Because a 29-year-old should know this lingo, right? All right, so had to charge. I assume charge is not charging a cell phone. Can anyone fill me in with that one? Had to charge, no plug, Mads also target. So this sounds like to me, right? Because this was on December 12th of 2022. This sounds like to me communication is being had behind the scenes. They're getting things clarified. Doesn't that sound like it? They're posting this like, oh, no. I talked to him. She was also a target. You know what I mean? It gives off that kind of feel and perception, or that kind of feel and meaning behind it.
Yeah, I'm wondering though. You said a cell
plug
phone
is also a drug dealer. I just didn't see another connection there, so I wasn't going to bring it up.
Had to charge.
I was thinking, did they get paid to do this? Maybe. Did they get paid to, I had to charge them, no plug. Like, did they get loaded before they went? Did they get loaded before they did this? If we're going down this rabbit hole here, okay? If we're going to follow this rabbit hole all the way down. Had to charge, no plug. Is this a middleman sometimes? And they're saying, hey, I couldn't get a hold of a plug. I pulled out of my stash and I had to charge them extra.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
This is a likely theory. I think they just had to charge their phone, and that's why they stopped posting. And then they came back and was like, "Oh, sorry. Basically, sorry, I had to charge my phone and I didn't have a plug."
Okay, good. Because I was thinking that too, but I wasn't sure with a possible drug.
Yeah, you guys are right.
A plug is totally a dopey.
It could be something like, or it could be nothing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, this one's hard to know.
Yeah.
Because there's no follow-up to it. Just saying Madison is also a target. Kaylee isn't.
Was not. Yep.
Bad luck.
And this goes into Steve saying so early on he didn't have to go upstairs. Because I don't think either of them were the real targets. I think that they were a victim of circumstance because some other psychopath could have potentially wanted to be in on this.
Do you think this could have had something to do with that boy that ended up dead after a party?
I mean, how could it be connected to that? How? Were these four connected to that? Because to me, if this is a real theory, I see somebody. What is the crime we just talked about? What the dude who admitted I'm drawing a blank. Who just came out? She's been missing for 18 years. Vandersloot. Jordan Vandersloot, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying that right?
About it?
Okay. So the reason he ended her was because she turned him down.
Yeah.
So
that's what he claims.
That's what he claims. So there's somebody in this fraternity that not only, according to this story, wanted Xana and had issues with her boyfriend. And it sounds like the argument, they were throwing things around like, hey, your maleness is shrunken because of these things that you do.
Well, also in a past,
and embarrassed them.
In one of the ones we just read, it also said they weren't happy with Maddie dating her boyfriend either.
God, what a so controlling, like,
right, SB. Ethan was friends with the kid that passed away.
Got it.
From the frat, which is what I wonder if there's been issues for a long time because of that.
Got it.
Maybe Ethan knew something shady. I don't know.
I don't know either. But I think that the reason why I'm using Vandersloot as an example, because I think a lot of people could look at this, right? And me being the salesman I'm going to connect dots with examples. We see people all the time that end lives because of something stupid like an argument. And this sounded like more of an argument, more of an attack at his manliness than even what went on with the Vandersloot story. Because it's what happened with Vandersloot plus tenfold.
I see what you're saying.
They attacked the size of his manliness, which for some guys, maybe that's super important, where their image around their bros means everything. I don't know. I'm not like that. So, but maybe it is to some people. And maybe that's enough where they embarrassed him enough where sociopathic tendencies, homicidal tendencies.
Maybe. But I've seen this being circulated, Allie, that DM made Kaylee a +1, and that's why she was in town. But how do we know that for sure? Do you know the source where that comes from? Because I see it being said, but I don't know where it comes from. I'm confused.
So one of them made the other a +1, but the other one did not make them the +1. Is that what we're saying here?
No, DM. The reason people are saying the reason Kaylee was in town was not to show Maddie her car, but to come to something that Dylan made her +1 to.
Oh,
an event.
Shut up! No way. Really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that. That's sketch. Jeez.
It's going around. I just don't know where that comes from. But yeah, if it's true, it is super sketch. I'm so sorry, Gio. I hope they get it all sorted out.
Oh, that's scary, my friend.
Yeah, I hope you get it all sorted out. Take care of yourself.
Yeah. Do everything the doctors tell you to, because clots are no joke.
Yeah.
Scary stuff, man. So
our thoughts are with you. I hope everything turns out okay. Everything
we heard about the Xana getting her locks changed, it doesn't sound like the locks were actually changed. What it sounds like from the research we did. Now, you're right on. I'm just clarifying, but it's the same idea. Her dad came out and secured the door that was already there. So I don't know if there were screws that were loose and there was a way for somebody to get in even when the lock was locked and it had to be tightened. I don't know. I know that locks weren't changed, and I forget where I got confirmation of that from, but we got confirmation somehow that the locks weren't changed, but he did come out to further secure the door that was already there. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we appreciate that. That sucks if it's just bad luck. Like, geez.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm trying to see if there was any response to my question.
Say it again.
What?
Say your question again.
If there was any confirmation that Kaylee was Dylan's +1.
Got it.
If there's any actual source to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like invite cards or something.
Okay, so you guys are saying Kaylee's mom said that? Steve said it?
What? You should write it down in the notes. We'll look it up.
It's stated on Facebook. It's stated on Instagram. All over the place, guys.
And this is important. Jake is the guy from State Farm.
That's super important.
Very.
It's a huge conspiracy with State Farm. So, okay, yes. Mom's interview with Olivia. Instagram post. Okay, thank you guys. I'll have to look it up. If you guys have a link, please send it to me, but I will look it up.
Yes. Absolutely. All right, so let's get on here. Crack on. Hang on one second here. Make sure I actually post this stuff. Okay. All right. So because I always forget here, guys, I'm going to post this real quick. So first one is the membership, and second one, because everyone always asks, is the Twitter here. Bam. Because Twitter is the only one. We're on all social media, and we got our business going and got approved, and we're making progress there. So we are officially a media company, which is awesome, super cool. But all of our social media is /Thought Riot Podcast, except for Twitter. Twitter is /Thought Riot Pod. Okay. And just to give you guys a little bit of a rundown with the membership stuff, if I can get caught up on my editing, I am going to do the membership video this week of a situation that I was in my past. Just some of those, where my criminal experience comes from. And it's just not something that I'm going to put out there and glorify on the internet. I don't look at those things like they need to be glorified. It's helped turn me into who I am today. And that's part of the reason why I'm so heavily invested and interested in true crime, because I have those situations that I was a part of in my past. And I will be posting that video around the interrogation experiences and things like that I had in my past. So, yes. This week, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, this week, I will be fully caught up on editing and be able to get that done. And we also have our Patreon up finally, and we are slowly getting stuff added on there, which is awesome. So, okay, next one here. This is super interesting, and the details behind this, right? The details behind this. All right. So this was what was behind the Sigma Chi picture previously, but E equals Ethan, Mads equals Maddie. And they said high probability some brothers are aware, and they're talking about this crime. Rogaine has ample opportunities and will play grieving boyfriend. Blank actually talked about this in detail in the past. Wearing electrician's gloves, which we looked at earlier, wearing electrician's gloves, putting on baggy clothes after, and just walking away. By the way, blank's dad works for a professional cleaning company that was disposed of in Garden City over Thanksgiving holiday. Now, if you guys remember the first post, okay, so this is at 14:30, and the first post was here we go. The first post was this poem talking about a garden, right? And this is what opened everything up. So flowers, leaves, and butterflies. Here's a sight to soothe your eyes, a mini forest outside your home. You might even find a gnome. And then we find out that's supposed to be Garden City. And then we look here.
Can you please tell me why the first time
that was disposed in Garden City over Thanksgiving break?
Why is that the first time I looked it up, it popped up just fine, but now I can't pull up the coordinates at all?
Because they're coming after you. Dun, dun, dun.
It literally just says they don't exist.
Yeah, we'll find them. We'll find them. You can adjust coordinates to where, and I also have some other websites we can go to that will be able to pull it up. It's like live coordinates.
Yeah, it's not weird to sleep with your best friends. Girls sleep in the same bed all the time. It means absolutely nothing.
I mean, here's the thing. If I got a floor or a bed with somebody, I'm going bed, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sleep on the floor.
Yeah, me neither.
But this is really interesting because this was posted during that same time frame on the 22nd when all these posts came out, okay? And this, people have wondered the whole time, how did they not leave any DNA? How? This is how. This is pre-PCA. This is pre-Kohberger arrest. Pre-everything.
Well, and they were probably looking in the wrong place, too.
So, yeah, did they wear a long sleeve shirt, black shirt, with electrician's gloves, with pants, so they're fully covered with a mask on, do the deed, pull out their baggier clothes, right? Bigger clothes that would engulf everything, and just slip them right over the top? Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You could even take your shoes off and stick them in your shirt and just walk barefoot out.
Yeah.
You know,
good point.
To leave no footprints except for one latent footprint.
So I wanted to answer one thing real quick. Jenna asked why not sleep in Kaylee's bed because it's bigger. I asked that same question. And then Angel asked, was her bed gone? From everything I've seen, no. Because there were pictures of the windows and it looked like her bed was still there. I've asked these same questions. It makes no sense for them to sleep in Maddie's room. No sense at all.
That's interesting.
Oh, we got a new thought writer. Welcome,
yeah.
Bart.
Welcome, Bart. Welcome, welcome. We're super stoked that you're here. And everybody else, give them a warm Thought Riot welcome. Yes.
But yeah, that makes sense. The baggy clothes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good idea. I mean, I've never been in a situation where I've been involved in anything like this, nothing even close to something like this. So I've never had to think in this way. But when I heard it, I was like, wow, yeah, someone's definitely thought about how to get away with this, right?
Mm-hmm. Clearly. I mean, those gloves, that...
I know. I still have the picture pulled up. They're wild, like crazy. This is wild. I couldn't think of better gloves.
Thick rubber gloves are wild.
For that situation, when you're using a knife, absolutely. For sure. I think that is really important for grip, for everything.
Yeah.
Everything. But I just keep going back to this idea here too. So-and-so's dad works for a professional cleaning company. That's the second time we've heard that. Is this really a situation where dude can end somebody and go to their dad and be like, hey, dad, I ended somebody? That is so strange. Super strange. I just don't understand it.
I mean, it just, that comment seems out of place.
What, the dad comment?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is why I think it could be a fixer. Somebody who cleans up crime scenes for criminals.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Then they go on to say on 12/12, bruh, you can see the King Road house from blank SX room, Sigma Chi. Once that third floor light turned off, they did it. 19 minutes total, walk included. I mean, they weren't walking from what we saw. From what we saw, they were running. Talked about this at Bishop Kelly and Sigma Chi. And Blank and Ethan got in a fight that night. Xana allegedly talked crap. Elle had problems with Maddie also. This has been brewing since fall rush last year. They went quiet on social media for 2 weeks before and after the deed. Mom's a paralegal, so he knows not to say anything. Cleared his social media. So that's the one thing too that I was really curious about is when was social media cleared? It said that they were quiet for 2 weeks leading up and 2 weeks after. So this was planned for 2 weeks. You know, if there's some kind of evidence, right? And again, this is just pretending that Kohberger's not there, okay? I'm going down this rabbit hole as if Kohberger's not there. If this theory has some weight to it and they have some kind of proof that there was planning 2 weeks beforehand, that would make me feel different about the 8-hour delay. Because that's a really big coincidence. Planning beforehand, people have wondered if 8 hours delay was planning. And I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying what if, right? And then quiet for 2 weeks after.
Yeah, Bar asked, didn't you pull this up? Did you guys see the photo posted at 3:30 a.m. of her and Kaylee? So wild to me. I thought you pulled up a picture at one point. I don't know if we have seen it, Bart. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You could always email it to us, though, because I'm not sure. He did pull up a picture in this somewhere, but I don't think it's that.
Yeah. Plumbing explained, I agree with you that I wish life was like that, but one of the examples we gave was Vandersloot, and they didn't even fight. According to him, she just turned him down, you know? So I wish that were true, but I think that if Kohberger didn't exist in this situation, I think this has some weight to it to look into further, right? I don't think there's enough evidence here that police could look at this and be like, that's it, we're going to raid them and take them in right now, you know? But it's enough for them to say, we got to answer some questions. We got to ask some questions. We got to dig. We got to look at some footage. We got to ask around. We got to do interviews. We got to do our read technique, you know?
Appreciate you. Thank you very much, Cristobal.
Yeah, thank you and welcome. Welcome. We appreciate that.
So So I'm not super convinced. So here's where I think the depth comes in, because I saw Plumber. I'm just gonna call you Plumber. Here's where I think the deepness could come in potentially with this. Is that there was a young man that passed away, a part of this fraternity, prior to the murders, and he went around not like literally knocking on doors for help, and nobody answered, and he died outside.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that about that.
In like an inch of water or something like that.
I know that, but I didn't know he went around asking for help.
Yeah, he went around trying to get help. So, and Ethan supposedly was friends with this guy, and supposedly there was a lot of drama between people in the frat having to do with it. I think that's where some depth could come in. Is somebody passed away in the frat. Some people feel like it's the other person's fault.
I hope you're right, Plumbing. I do. But history says that a lot of times people do this, you know.
Oh, especially wealthy kids. Wealthy kids will throw away a lot because they never had to work for anything. They don't know
accountability.
There's no accountability in their life.
Not in all, but some.
Yeah, right. I just feel like you're more likely as a growing up wealthy to not understand consequences.
Yeah.
The way somebody who grew up not wealthy understands them.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
I had wealthy friends, and they were some of the biggest trouble, man.
Mm-hmm.
When I wanted to get in trouble and party hard, that's who I would call up.
Yep.
So, and they didn't even have some crazy deep connections. They just had the ability to pay for an attorney every traffic ticket, you know, every DUI. And we literally was driving so intoxicated that we drove off a cliff and no charges, nothing.
Yeah, I don't know for sure if it was a hazing incident or not. I need to honestly look into it more, into the details. I don't know how much is actually out there that is factual. But that's the general knowledge I have of that situation. And I think there is a possibility there for it to cause some strife between people within the fraternity. And I could see someone wanting revenge for that, or getting angry, or say someone wanted to snitch somebody out because they felt like they were involved or did something that led to that kid's death.
Yeah.
And so that person's like, you're not going to tell on me, so I'm going to get you before you can talk.
Look, I think Jack going to Africa is telling you guys. I know a lot of people look at that and think that he could be guilty because of that. I personally look at that and I see fear. It is very uncommon for somebody to have the confidence to do a crime of that magnitude and nature and then be like, okay, now I gotta bounce, you know? When people leave, they're scared. They're scared. They're scared.
I mean, a lot of people left that were directly involved with the victims.
I know.
A lot.
Agreed.
And that's super awesome, Mike. I read your comment about your puppy. That's so cool.
Oh man, I had an American bulldog in my pet years ago, and American bulldogs are awesome dogs. They are amazing, so loving and energetic, and just good dogs.
Africa was pre-planned. Okay, but how pre-planned?
Yeah.
How pre-planned?
And was the plan to be there this long? You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, but you also have to take into account that
if you're from Orange County, California, you absolutely are familiar with troubled kids. That is my stomping grounds.
Yeah. I think there's a possibility Kohberger could be involved. I still believe that possibility is there.
Agreed.
But I'm not sold on it in any shape or form.
Yeah. Yeah. Why I'm not willing to commit to his innocence or guilt is because there is a real possibility that more evidence could come out. A very real possibility that more evidence could come out. I don't think it's very likely. I think they've shown most of their heavy hitting cards already. So if they try to convict on the evidence that they have right now, I wouldn't feel comfortable saying he was guilty if I was a jury member on what they have now, because what they have now is so weak. It is so weak. And so many people that think he's guilty will argue that it's not weak. But look, you can believe he's guilty and still be honest about the evidence, right? And what I tell people all the time is, okay, so if you think this is strong, then you need to compare this evidence to an actually strong case. And you have to compare it to Gilgo. Gilgo is one of the strongest cases I've seen in a decade. It is so strong. And with Gilgo, you can take out any piece of evidence, any piece. You could take out two, you could probably take out 3 pieces of evidence in Gilgo, and it's going to land. Any of them at random, and it's going to stick. Now, if you take out one in the Kohberger case, toast, gone, done.
It's like playing Jenga.
Yeah.
On the last blocks. So
and a crime, yes.
A yearly thing. So I'm seeing from J Ray and Pebbles, the parents volunteer there every year. Now that you guys say that, I do remember hearing that. I don't know if he's still there, and I would like to have confirmation he's there too. Plumber, I feel the same way. I don't know why. I don't know why that's still a thing, because I haven't seen any proof. But if there's proof that his parents go there every year, then, you know.
Yeah.
And you also have to take into account, if he is still there, say he is still there, dude, the love of his life, from what we know, is gone.
Yeah.
Like even if they were going to have time apart, like I think their plan was to end up together at the end of the day and have a family at some point. So that's his whole future. Everything he's been planning for, gosh, how long? Like half of his life so far on this earth.
I agree.
So that's gonna be so hard to get over. So I wouldn't blame him staying in Africa, getting his head right and stuff. It doesn't mean he's involved.
How is that all the warrants for search did not bring forth evidence to seal this and be done with it? They are going to. Yeah. So the way that they're currently handling this case is so uncommon. And the fact that they're trying to hide everything just makes me unsure if there could be more evidence, right? And I don't think that we have everything. I don't think that the defense has everything. So because of that little bit of information, I'm just not comfortable committing to innocence or guilt currently. I want to see the case, because even talking about this theory right here, do I think Kohberger could somehow be intertwined in this? Absolutely. In this 4chan theory, there's enough holes, gaps, and question marks that there could be another person involved. There could be 2 more people involved. There could be Kohberger involved. He could be a watcher. He could be a fixer. He could be a victim. He could be, you know what I mean? Like, there's too much uncertainty around this case, too many details that are unknown around this case, to where I just don't, I'm always going to give it to you guys straight. So I'm not the type of person where if I don't feel at least 90% sure that he's either going to be innocent or he's going to be guilty, then I have a hard time committing to either. You know what I mean? Knowing that there's so much more, there could be so much more evidence out there. There's probably not, but there could be.
Yeah, and Jenna, I did know that. We have a Gilgo video that's supposed to be coming out. We were going to release it tonight, but we decided to do this instead. It should be coming out soon, but it's covering the new press release. And I did bring that up because I didn't know it until I was watching some news and stuff, and it got brought up. And I was like, holy cow. So apparently, like, her sister lost her mind after her death and ended up murdering her mom. Like, that is so tragic.
It is.
It's
and just keep an eye out for the video, because yeah, we cover that stuff.
Yeah, it was Shannon Gilbert. Yep.
Yeah.
And those witness statements are incredible. Like,
I think it comes out tomorrow. So, yes.
And that's very possible. That's very possible that the original suspect fell out.
Dealing with what? And I think they had somebody in mind originally, and that yeah. I think you're spot on. I think that based on the evidence that we see here, the police were following this story that we're talking about here. And the reason why I feel like that here,
I was just trying to get down to the
so
bottom.
we're at 1625. Okay, so the reason why I feel like this is a realistic theory the police were following is because of where are you at?
Huh?
Is because of this right here. So this was released by the police department, again, asking for the public's help. Detectives are seeking all outside surveillance video taken from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. on Sunday, November 13th, from businesses and residences within the geographical area listed below. West Taylor Avenue, northbound, West Palouse, River Drive, southbound, Highway 95 south, the 2700 block of Highway 95S south, eastbound, Arbor and Botanical Garden westbound. Yeah. And this was put out like to help the police.
Yeah. And I brought up the third jack in the search warrant video where we go over the Apple, Venmo, Amazon, all those search warrants, and I did digging to re-find all that Venmo information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It's
odd.
It's pretty odd.
It is. I agree with you.
I just don't know what it could be. I don't have a theory on it.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I have a hard time committing to, because I can't tell you how many times, you guys, that I've looked at a case and I've thought for sure, this is it. I know it. There's too much here, but it always goes back to you don't know what you don't know. And one single thing can flip any theory on its head. And there's nothing anybody can do about it, you know? And that's why my favorite saying, right, is the one thing that I know in life is that I know nothing. Right. And I try to approach every situation like that, where I don't know nothing. I'm not an expert in anything. I don't know anything. You know, I know what I know and I know nothing more. And I just forever try to approach every position from not knowing anything. So even with this guilt, I feel like that's how I'm trying to approach it.
Thank you, Elsie. I did get them mixed up. There's 3 jacks.
Yeah.
It's too many jacks.
Yes, there's 3 jacks and 3 hunters, right? Or is it 3 jacks and 2 hunters?
But thank you for correcting me. You're right. You know, every time I think of him, I just think of him, the girls ditching him, and then him being like, and taking off.
Yeah.
Every time that strikes me as weird.
That doesn't strike me as weird as much as the fact that he's like trying not to interact with them. That is what's weird to me, is him trying not to interact with them. So did somebody have a fight? Did they argue earlier that night? And he was like, you know what? you're wasted. I'm going to walk you home and like sleep it off. You know what I mean? Because there was very, very, very little interaction. And they were like, I mean, you can't put a reason on them ditching him because they were show wasted, gone, toasty, you know, they were out there.
Jeff H, I think is the channel. I think that's his channel name.
Yeah.
Just released more enhanced audio of the grub truck.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, Jeff, who comes on here?
I think so.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. We like Jeff.
Yep, it was interesting. You know, there's kind of some parts in there that I didn't notice until I watched that today, because he just released it a little bit ago. Where Kaylee's looking at her phone and, like, you know, she's like super into her phone.
Yeah.
Well, there's some parts where she's like going and talking to her and it looks really serious, and then Maddie almost looks uncomfortable.
Yeah, but the one thing I go back to is they're wasted.
It is helpful, J. Ray. It was interesting.
So, like, when I read body language for work, right, you have to look for things that make that body language unreliable. And one of the biggest ones is somebody wasted.
Yeah, I get it.
It's hard for me to look at that and feel like I can guesstimate what's going on, but maybe there was some uncomfortability. I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Was there a guy there in that group of people that one of them had hooked up with at one time and they were feeling like socially awkward? You know what I mean? Just to give another example of what could cause that awkwardness too in a situation like that, that is completely reasonable, you know? Yeah. So this post here, we have another 12/22/2022 had to take a drop, had to paint the town brown, had to drop the kids off at the pool. You get the point. So Sigma Chi 2022, Ethan and Xana, L and B at the party. Blank and E have issues, back to E rushing. So just joining the fraternity. Ethan talked crap about him taking roids and having his junk shrivel. He got pissed as he was attracted or wanted Xana. For idiot youngins like Ethan, tutors are assigned, but he blew it because Ethan, a second year fresher. Blank also is self-conscious about his, and that is a derogatory word we blocked out, blood, okay, and talks empty crap. Blank and Blank talked about the crap in general for a while, talked about leaving their cell phones behind and on YouTube autoplay. No, so think about that. They know enough to leave their phones on YouTube on autoplay. Okay. Remember, there was phone usage in the house. All right. Talked about leaving their cell phones behind and on YouTube autoplay. No pings, no guns, too loud, area dead early Sunday mornings. Blank even calls out crap media saying Maddie, wait, that's Matt. No, Kaylee was target. That is false. Kaylee had bad luck. Targets were Ethan, Xana, and Maddie. Maddie talked crap about him, never acknowledged. Blank. Maddie right about that one. He is an idiot and should have also taken out Blank. Sorry, guys. That's probably super choppy reading, but I was trying to edit as I was reading. So interesting. This is on 12/12. 12/12 at 3:03 a.m. 3:03 a.m. Right? 3:03 a.m.
Yeah, December 12th.
Yeah. What about it?
Okay, so what about 303?
Just because people like to try and connect threes to this case all over the place. I'm not saying that there is anything, but I go back to saying that whatever's important to a suspect or somebody involved in a case should be important to the person investigating it, right? Not that it has some magical meaning, but that it's important to the suspect. So I think it's important to highlight things that could be important to a suspect. But interesting, right?
And
that phone, this is thought out, you guys. So from having experience in crime myself, obviously nothing like this, but they thought this out. This was thought out. They're thinking about their cell phones being left at home on autoplay, no pings. They've thought out the no guns. It's too loud. The on-site evidence with wearing baggy clothes, and this is all before the PCA.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's AM Pebbles because
it's military.
It's military. It looks like it's military time. And it says 3:03. Yep. Yeah, this is like extensive planning.
Extensive planning. It really is. This is not something you're sitting around a campfire with your buddies like, oh, how would you do it? Really, though, tell me how you would do it. Oh, yeah, I would do boom, 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 and boom. They have this down. They have this down. And it goes back to Ethan's leg wounds. I think that shows intention of causing pain, not just ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were deep. They were intentional. The only reason why I could see somebody would go at somebody's Achilles tendons in their legs or their hamstrings in their legs and slice through them is to prevent them from moving and extending their control in that situation, right?
They're saying L should have also taken out B. They saying Beth?
I don't know.
See, it makes me wonder.
I know.
Say if this is okay, these people. Yeah. Right. So, if it wasn't spur of the moment, okay, they plan it, they go over there. They know everybody in this home, including the survivors.
Yep.
But they don't have any beef with them for some reason. Do they help them clean up? Is that why we have a cleaned up footprint?
I don't know, man. I just don't know.
Is that why there's not trails all over the place? Were they there that 8 hours cleaning?
I don't know. But it's
were they there that 8 hours getting rid of evidence, drugs, anything else illegal?
It's interesting that
it's Barry. Yeah. I know this one. Who's Barry? Who's Barry though?
I don't know. Yeah, so I'll post. This is all from Reddit, you guys, and someone took the time to put this all together, okay? And I talked to him about it and everything and all that. I'll attach the group that it's in, and they said that was okay. But I just don't. If you guys are curious about the names, it's literally just a quick Google search and you'll be able to figure it out. I just wanted to be focused on the theory and not the person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah. I think it's important. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. Because who the names are, like that's police work, right? That's what the police are there for. But is this theory possible?
I mean, that one name is like going around though in other statements.
Yep, so. I know it. I think a lot of these have been brought up over the past year. And one thing to remember for us, why we're just on this is we're our timeline is on a different journey here. We've only began doing true crime full time in the last 60 to 90 days. Before that, we had played around with politics. I love politics too, but that's like super hard to get into. And honestly, we had more fun talking true crime together. So we just made the decision to go true crime, and obviously the viewers liked it too, and it has taken off, which is awesome because that's our preference anyways. So
I mean,
we're just picking up.
I agree the names are important, but like maybe in your own personal research, not on a video necessarily.
Yeah.
Is what I think he's saying. That's why he said you could find it. But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, just like the memorandum with Delphi, I say those names because I think it's important with the names.
Yeah. Yeah. Part of this is I'm also trying to respect the person who pulled this together.
Okay.
So, it's not like I'm worried about them, but this video could be focused on the theory and not the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think the theory is the important part, not how people feel socially about these names that have already been out there and brought up, and there is already negative information tied to them, and people have questions around them and other situations. You know what I mean? Like it can also muddy that information.
I guess, but I guess.
I just hope the police got this. Because again, going back, man, coincidence, right?
You know, Allie, I've heard that too, but I don't know about it for sure. Is it out? No, Tracy said that. The chat moved on me, sorry. That they were involved in the animal killings. But I've heard it in the like, you know, said, but I don't know where it comes from.
So hang on here. There we go. Okay. All right, here we go.
So Plumber asked what our theory is on the crime. Like he knows it's speculation, but wants to know what our theory is. You know, we don't have like a fully formed theory yet of what we like officially think. We haven't came out with anything like that yet.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of worth to this, right? But in order for this theory to have weight, other theories have to be proven untrue, which I think there's some weight to a drug theory, obviously. The 90% of college kids, this is a real statistic. It is above 90%. over 90% of college kids use mind-altering substances during their stay at college, during their 4 years. So drugs is not a Hollywood theory. It is a realistic theory. And could they have been caught up in something? I don't know. Maybe. I think that part of the reason why it's possible here is because of the opportunity that the location of that university offers, where you can drive 20 minutes over state line, pick up dope where it's legal, and then drive it, buy $10 a dope, and then take it back across the state line and sell it for 20. You know what I mean? That's already going to make that a hot spot. That's already going to make that a hub. So that's really interesting. One thing to note, though, is that if it is drug related, I do not think it is like cartel related.
It's the gnomes. There's killer gnomes.
That's it. But no,
exactly.
I don't think it is cartel type situation. A lot of people watched our drug theory video and thought we were referring to that. Where there is those organized crimes, there is also correlating crimes. So gangs follow that, where that activity is. Mid to small level criminals follow gangs and that activity. So I think that it could be something much smaller than like the highest of the high level organized crime. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mike needs a source for that claim.
I'll pull it and post it.
He's joking. College kids experiment with mind-altering substances.
There are some people that literally don't believe that.
Yeah.
You should look in the comments.
This is not typical cartel. You're correct. The scene wasn't there.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you think they were killed elsewhere? I thought you were agreeing with it not being cartel, but I could be interpreting that wrong.
Yeah. The fight did not stop at the party. Yeah, I've heard those theories before too, you guys, and I just don't have any evidence to prove that like bodies were moved around and things like that. Everybody explained that crime scene that it is like a bomb went off in there. Bodies are not easy to move. Just from experience of friends being knocked out at bars, because I was a dirt biker and like we got knocked out all the time. That's just normal, right? I probably have more head injuries than I have fingers and toes. It just comes with the territory. But people that are knocked out, dead body weight is very, 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 very hard to move around. And then on top of it, the blood loss and the scene that comes with that. And then all of that blood was at the scene there. So I don't think it's any question. I think, yes, the crime happened at the house. Something incredible would have to make me believe it happened somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know,
agree.
Me personally. But again, anything's possible, you guys.
That's insane, Plumber. That's such a weird coincidence.
What was he doing? The Christmas shrooms?
Yeah, I'm gonna look, Pebbles. Thanks for that suggestion. To look into the most wanted people in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason I don't think it's a cartel is because, like, and not saying that it couldn't be dealers or something associated with the cartel. It could be that. I don't think it's straight up cartel hit.
No way.
Because it's just, it doesn't resemble any kind of killing by cartel I've ever seen in my life. And when you live in California, you hear of those, and they're not good.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're real bad.
Yeah.
Like when I was living in San Francisco, there was a lady strung up from the Monterey Bay Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Like whole families, a whole household gone.
Yeah.
Babies.
Yeah.
Like it's relentless. It's horrible. They don't leave witnesses, period.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the crypto thing is
Joe
interesting.
Pesci from Goodfellas.
The crypto thing is interesting, and that hex hat that Steve wore, I still have huge question marks with it. It's odd. It's odd that he wore that hat.
Yeah, but for those of you that don't know how hex works, it is literally a pyramid scam in a coin. Okay. So you invest your money into there, and the leaders or the ones who are managing it pull money out the back end, and it causes the coin's cost, the overall cost, to drop. So then, because your money's in there and stuck for 5 years, 4 years, 3, 2, whatever it is, it's now your job to go find more people so that you don't end up upside down. So if there's more investors, then it goes up. So they created a coin that causes every single person separately on their own to invest and market it, and they all have a reason to. It is the weirdest thing. It is so strange. It is criminal coding is what it is.
I'm not sure. Your chat came through just now, Bart, so I think you're good. It could have been a strange word YouTube doesn't like.
Yeah.
We don't typically time out people, and if I do time out somebody, I'm gonna let you know that I'm timing you out. And you're gonna know that you deserve it.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna say something that's really terrible, and then you're gonna know.
Yeah, and
it takes a lot in this chat to get timed out.
Yes, we have our setting put on the medium security. So some words, it's exactly like she said. Some of them will pull it out, and we don't even see that it happened. So
no, we don't.
I would just reword it and post it again, because it's all automatic. Just it keeps our viewers protected is all. Yeah.
Yeah, try a word. So try to reword
or split it up
and see if there's a trigger word in there.
Okay. So, has everyone else ever wondered?
Oh, reminder. Yeah. Make sure you're on live chat.
Oh, yeah.
Also make sure you're on live chat.
Yes.
Because you will not see all of the chat if you're on top chat. It's got to be on live. All right, go ahead.
So, has anyone else ever wondered, like I have, why Steve has said, I think on 2 different occasions, he didn't have to go upstairs? Right?
Mm-hmm.
This theory makes sense of that. But we hear Steve all the time saying, I'm totally open to the possibility that it's not Brian. I'm open to the possibility that multiple people are involved. Does Steve know more?
That's what I want to know, man.
Did Steve step in for, wait, I'm having an ADHD moment. Don't throw tomatoes at me. What his other daughter's name?
It's Olivia.
Olivia. So Blum's research was around Olivia's sleuthing. Why did Steve all of a sudden step in the limelight and say, oh no, it's my sleuthing? I've been doing it. You know what I mean?
I mean, did he really do that?
Yeah. Yes. 48 Hours even didn't focus on Steve. It focused on Olivia.
Yeah.
And they said Olivia was the one doing all the research. Olivia was the one doing all the sleuthing. Now, all of a sudden,
online and phone specifically.
I mean, Blum's articles are around her information. All of them. It's the chronicles of whatever Olivia's, I don't remember what it's called right now. But it's centered around the information Olivia's getting. So why did something happen to make Steve want to step in and say, hey, it's been me?
Just where did he make that statement that it's been him, though?
I mean, Blum said it was him. It's all been him. You know, we did it on stream.
Yeah, but
so
Steve,
why did it change?
But Blum said that. Steve didn't.
Yeah, but Blum has been saying it's been Olivia.
And then randomly says it was Steve with these specific things.
Yeah.
I mean, is it possible they both were?
I don't know. I just think that it's what Mystery X said. I think he's being a protective father. I think there could be more to the story. And I think it's a realistic possibility that it could be him being like, whoa, the attention's getting a little much, or something's going on here, or maybe a threat has been made somewhere. And that's just a theory. I'm just making that up, you guys. But if there was some kind of threat there, you would expect a father like Steve, who takes, you know, his duties as a father so serious, and the way that he's been managing his family and his appearances and finding out information, that you would expect that man to stand in the way of whatever was going on and say, no, it's me.
Yeah, but the reason that doesn't make sense to me is because Blum supposedly got these from text messages that we don't even know are real and are with a friend that was talking to Steve. So I don't know that you can really say that Steve stepped in and said it was him.
I mean,
or that if any of that,
I feel like it would have started off with him then, if he had been the one pioneering this.
Yeah, but that's if that's even true, that he did any of that, or Olivia did any of that.
In 48 hours, she talked herself saying she did?
About finding the Instagram and about looking at Kaylee's phone. Nothing else other than that.
I just see overwhelming evidence saying that she has totally been doing more than that. With the Chronicles of Olivia, with the 48 hours, like, it's a further leap to say, no, she hasn't been doing that, than it is to say, oh, she has been doing that, because she said herself she's been doing that.
So J. Ray said the Chronicles of Olivia is different from Olivia Stevenson's sleuthing.
Yeah, you lost me.
So Blum writes about two different Olivias, I think is what she's saying.
Yeah. I'm not sure the Stevenson.
Yeah, I think maybe there's some confusion. I don't know though.
There isn't. 48 hours. There's no confusion.
Yeah, I know from the 48 hours with the phone and the other stuff, but
they did not come on 48 hours and say, hey, Olivia only searched for the phone and this. They came on there and said that she has been incredible diving in and trying to find out what was going on and figured out how to get on her phone. Like, I'm just kind of lost how you take it as like, oh no, 48 hours said she only did the phone and did this one thing. But they didn't. They said that she has been her own investigator and has been diving into this.
Yeah. So are the Chronicles of Olivia not about Kaylee's sister? They're about the other Olivia? Yeah, okay. So the Chronicles of Olivia are not about Kaylee's sister. I haven't read that article, so.
So the Blum articles, though, because on the Blum articles, it says, it talks about the Chronicles of Olivia. I assumed that he was just calling what she was doing that. So like it keeps going back to Olivia in those articles. So is Blum talking about the other Olivia?
That's what J. Ray is saying.
Oh.
The Chronicles of Olivia are not about Olivia, the sister. They're a totally different Olivia.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the Chronicles of Olivia.
Okay.
I'm talking about the Blum articles. Where it says on that front page, the Chronicles of Olivia, and then it keeps referencing Olivia all the way up until the most recent article.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to figure it out because that's the feel that I got from it.
I mean, I think the only way to know is to look at it.
Greek letters for sigma chi resembling an X and an E. Is that why they were saying XE on these posts? So we're at 1926, and then oh no, they were saying SX actually, I think, right? Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna have to start reading them. It's not worth it now.
I'm just looking to see which one has the Chronicles of Olivia.
So, I'm curious what you guys think on this. What do you think is more likely true? I'm curious.
Yeah, I don't know. You have to read them to find out because it's not on the front.
Yeah, I'll pull what I'm talking about. I just don't want to do it during the stream because it makes it like slow down.
Interesting. Yeah, there is a YouTube channel called The Chronicles of Olivia. I just found it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll verify what I'm saying, you guys. That I'm not 100% on that. That's just what I read when I was looking into it when the Blum article first came out, was that one, why are we just hearing about this with Steve? If Steve has been making such a big hiccup in the community and has been such a problem and moving all these things, but the entire time that we've been looking at this, we have heard of Olivia being the investigator. We have 100%. And 48 Hours did not mention Steve. And I think that says a lot. I think that if Steve had been the one that was pushing this, 48 Hours would have mentioned him. Steve has been the front man, but not the investigator. And a lot of people say that what Blum says is not trustworthy, which would then go back to 48 Hours and them saying, Olivia's been the one doing it, not Steve.
I just think you're making it black or white when I think both of them could have been doing it in different ways. But the people didn't understand your question. What, like you said, true about what? What did you ask?
With this theory, do you think that it's more possible that it could be the 4chan theory and Kohberger's involvement? The whole thing is fake or coincidental, because obviously the messages aren't fake, but it could be true and doesn't include Kohberger. Or Brian Kohberger could have been a fixer. That's what somebody, and shout out to you who left us that message, who said they think Brian Kohberger could have been a fixer. I haven't heard that or dove into that theory before, but I guess it's possible, being a criminology TA and being known in the area. Hey, something happened.
Yeah, he's asking, could this be true and include Brian Kohberger? Could it be true and not include him at all? Brian has nothing to do with it, and the 4chan theory is just correct on its own. Or is it completely made up? Or did Kohberger help clean up the crime as a fixer?
Yeah.
Is what his questions were.
What are you talking about, William? The Iceman, as in the one of the most notorious hitmans? Is that what you're talking about? That Iceman?
I know. 3 Olivias, 3 Jacks, 3 Hunters. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Iceman.
Yeah.
He was
He was from the mob, and he was a rough dude.
He was scary.
Yeah,
he was scary.
I've met like 3 or 4 people in my life that I've been literally terrified to be around. And I feel like he gives off those same vibes as those 3 or 4 people that I've been around, where I've been like, oh, I need to get out of here. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, gosh, I have such a hard, I don't know where to go. I think the fixer thing is interesting. However, being a fixer is such a big risk. Fixers make a ton of money. You know, there are notorious Hollywood fixers. There are notorious New York fixers, Miami fixers. But it's money driven, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's a little bit different than a criminology student that, I don't know, what is just trying to fit in, maybe. Tolson is the fixer. Gosh, that would be bold, Heather.
It would be.
That would be bold, because Tolson, we know Tolson's dirty. That's not a question. Anyone who says that he's not dirty, it's because they don't understand what happened with Dr. Moore and what has gone on. Tolson is a dirty cop, 100%. Pure and simple, he's dirty. But it's very different being dirty and being like the notorious fixer. You know what I mean? Because you would have to have a name for yourself. People would have to know.
Yeah.
It's different being dirty and keeping it to yourself, or like telling people, hey, call Tolson. He's the dirty cop. You just let him know what you need and he'll do it. You know what I mean?
You know, I've wondered about the Banfield cops too. I have really, really wondered about them. The body cam footage.
Oh, no.
I've just wondered, you know, if they could have any involvement at all. Because there's something sketchy with those two, man.
God, that would be.
Now, it could be sketchiness.
The level of conspiracy is like.
I know, but I
Hollywood.
Well, what I was going to say is, the sketchy vibes we get off them may not be them involved in this crime. It could just be other sketchiness that we're picking up on.
Yeah.
And it's sending off red flags, and it makes you wonder.
Yeah.
But they could totally not be.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think okay. So if we hop in the conspiracy hole head first, full tin hat on, ready to go. And we're saying cops are involved in that. That is a full-blown mega Hollywood, nationally known, worldwide known conspiracy. Statistically, that's very unlikely. That's the only thing I'm saying there. Is it possible? Sure, anything's possible. But is it likely? No, not very likely.
Yeah, it could be covering, or it could just be other things, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I know that they have 100% changed their entire policing approach from the body cam footage that we see that includes the 4 victims and what we see now. It is night and day. No, corruption exists, Allie. 100%. Tolson is corrupt. There is corruption, but there's a very big difference. No, Tolson didn't write it, unless you're saying Tolson wrote it, but made it look like Payne wrote it. But Payne wrote it according to what is official. But there's a big difference between corruption and cops willingly taking part in the ending of 4 lives. You know what I mean? That's talking about a completely different level of corruption. And it's not 1 cop, 2 cops. We're talking multiple cops. We're talking cops that are on the radios that they're talking to, cops that are in the area. that level of conspiracy is Hollywood-sized conspiracy. I think that would be a conspiracy we haven't seen before.
Oh, I don't know about that. Dude, I've totally seen, okay, I'll have to find it. It might be worth covering. The human trafficking rings in the 70s, and the girls went into what is it called? Like a congressional hearing to tell their stories, the survivors. And they detailed how the sheriff's department in that area and even like some other higher up agencies covered for this ring of children being trafficked.
That's, to me, okay, that's one of the worst crimes there is.
That is crazy corruption.
Well, looking the other way is different than taking part in a crime.
Oh, some of them very much took part in it.
Yeah.
Very much so.
In that situation, I agree with you. I think that, and we know corruption's real, you guys. Whatever island, okay? What is it? Epstein Island. Like, come on. That is Hollywood level, real corruption, real conspiracy with some of the world leaders. Okay? That was one of the biggest stories in all of human history. And that level of conspiracy was real. It was real. 100%. There's no questions about that, right? So we know that stuff happens. It's just very unlikely, especially in today's world with body cam and things like that. And it's part of the reason I don't think a cop should ever be on the street without a body cam on, me personally.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And Sydney, right. Also, looking away from child trafficking is like, that is horrible.
Yeah. What I meant is that it's different between engaging in a crime or choosing to look away. If you choose to look away, you don't necessarily know what you're looking away from, right? Until that gets blown. And then obviously they're like, ignorance is bliss.
You're right, I guess. They may not know what they're choosing to look away from. They just know that their pockets are being filled.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone could approach them and be like, hey, I've heard you're on the take. Here's 10 grand to not be in this area at this time. And you're not going to ask any more questions, right?
Right.
They have no idea. Ignorance is bliss. No idea what's going on. But that still makes them complicit in that situation. Absolutely. And that's corruption. That's fraud. That is a conspiracy, depending on the multi-leveled, faceted group of whatever they have going on, you know?
Interesting.
Kaylee was investigating human trafficking. Is that one case
that Blum was talking about?
Yeah. Is that one case that it had something to do with that?
I'm not sure.
I
have to look more into it.
Interesting. Yeah.
Google drug bust Idaho juvenile facility.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out. Put it down.
Yeah, I am.
For sure. What is the secondary investigation? Okay, let's see. Is there anything? Oh, your theory about him trading the knife. I think that's a super good theory. A super good theory. And what's so interesting about that, and who was that in the chat? We had somebody in the chat last night that was confused on DNA. And I think a lot of people are confused on DNA and don't really understand it. And why that DNA video that we made is so important, because if you would have asked me 2 months ago and you said, hey, Brendan, if this person's DNA is found on a knife sheath in the house, do you think that you would believe they would be a part of that? 2 months ago, I would have been 100% on board. Absolutely. They were there. They were a part of it, and they need to be brought in for questioning or charged or whatever, right? Then we did the investigating on DNA and learned and figured it out and connected dots and watched experts and checked everything out. And come to find out, we learned the difference between direct and bodily fluid type DNA or trace DNA, skin cells, the difference in that, how trace DNA is considered a, what is it? Is it transport? That doesn't sound right, but I think, transferable is a transferable DNA. So with trace DNA, you don't even have to be there on the scene. It can be taken there very easily. It's why the military doesn't use it and why most of the rest of the world doesn't use trace DNA in there. Now, taking that into account, that makes this situation a very different situation for me. If there was blood or spit or the other bodily fluids that were found there, I would feel very different about that. If I was any slower, yeah, it's my SoCal, bro. But I would feel very different about that. Wouldn't you?
Yeah. I just, the touch DNA, I just, knowing how easily it's transferred, knowing that it can be degenerated and that they'll have to fill gaps with basically an algorithm on a computer, that it can be mixed, and all of those factors that I didn't know before make it way less reliable, in my opinion. And just because it's there doesn't prove the person was there.
Yes, absolutely. And we go over those two tests in this video right here. In this video, we go over the two tests that tell you about trace DNA and how it's transferable. And it does repetitive testing to prove it's transferable. Where's Allie? I appreciate that, but they won't hurt my feelings. It's not possible. I'll laugh it off. And I do talk with a draw, just not a Southern draw. I talk with a SoCal draw.
Yeah.
Like, bro, dude, let's go catch the waves. I can't help it.
If you actually listen to what's being said, you'll know nobody here is stupid. Which I think is what you meant by slow.
Oh, is that what they meant?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That went way over my head.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I think it's just because you get a lot of comments about talking slow. So you assume that's what he meant.
Yeah. But I am stupid. I know one thing in life, and that is that I know absolutely nothing. Okay? So I agree with you. I'm stupid.
Anybody who wears a hot dog suit, I mean.
I know it.
Really...
Hot dogs can't have brains. Yeah. What? Yeah. You know, when I first, so my draw has gone away a lot. When I first moved out of SoCal, everybody, dude, I moved from SoCal to Alabama. I went from SoCal to Birmingham, Alabama, you guys. And oh, it was such a culture shock. But everybody clocked me right away. The whole time, people would walk up to me and be like, "Hey, you're from Southern California, aren't you?" Yeah. Yep.
Oh, thanks, Marietta.
I know.
Sometimes Alabama. This mic doesn't pick me up very well. Dude, I don't need to reassure him that he is intelligent. Trust me.
No.
He's got enough arrogance for everybody in the room, okay?
Yes, it's true. It's I don't think it's that I'm arrogant. I just am a salesperson, you guys. I know an arrogant person would say that. I get it.
You just have a ton of confidence, okay, is all I'm saying. I was just saying it in a funny way, but he's extremely confident and nothing shakes it. Trust me, I've tried when I was angry, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny you say that, Pebbles, because I have changed accents growing up because I've lived in so many states all over the country that it changed. Like it evolved into different accents. And then now I feel like I say certain words with certain accents. Like
That's
there's
funny.
just random words that'll come out super southern sometimes, and then other words that'll come out like more West Coast, and then other words that'll come out like more northern. I don't know. It's really weird.
Yeah. I think you're onto something with that, Mike. Yeah. I think people who always seek continued education are tend to know a lot.
I haven't seen anybody spell dude like that in probably like 15 years.
Dude.
Dude. That's okay. It gave me throwbacks.
Yeah.
I don't know why my hand did that.
And I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, I've pointed this out before, but Brian Kohberger is loaded here. If you guys didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I put this picture up. He is 100% on opiates here.
Yeah, you can tell.
100%. You can tell by the redness around the edge of his eyes, his tiny pupils. You can tell totally. He is on opiates here. Look at the sweat. I think he's loaded. Either loaded or literally just got done running, but this is the time frame when he was using, and he's so sucked up.
Yeah, I wonder when this picture was taken exactly. Honestly, I think the clicks, Allie, I think they're reaching. I think they haven't been able to connect him to the K-bar, and they're reaching.
Yeah, and demanding, it makes me feel like, are they trying to, is there some kind of other account connected that they're trying to link to his account? You know what I mean? Because Amazon normally gives in. Amazon isn't like Apple. Apple is the jerks when it comes to law enforcement. Law enforcement hates Apple, despises Apple, because Apple does not give in with requests. They have before, okay? They have before, but normally they don't. And if they do give in, they give them coded information that that requires whatever key. I'm having an ADHD moment right now.
What is it?
The information, coded information,
encrypted.
Yes. So they will give law enforcement, they'll be like, okay, I guess since we said no 10 times and you got a court order forcing us to give you their information, here it is. Here's the encrypted information that'll take you 20 years to decrypt without the key that we aren't giving you.
So I think he is taking this picture of himself, Plumber. I think he is. I think it's a selfie for sure because you can't see his other arm. It looks like he's holding a phone in front of himself, and that whole thing makes this picture does him no justice in my opinion because it looks creepy.
He's loaded.
It looks creepy. It looks like what you would see from some guy with a manifesto. Okay, I don't.
Yes,
know.
It's true.
Serious manifesto vibes here.
Yeah.
But I think he's just super high in this picture.
Yeah,
is what I think.
I think he used dope to drop weight.
Exactly. You got to be confident to dress up like a hot dog. That's how you know nothing can shake this guy's confidence.
I know. Look at that picture right there.
It looks like I'm yelling at you, and you're like, "Excuse me,"
and I'm closing my eyes. Can't hear nothing. That's super funny. Oh man.
It's just so funny.
That is hilarious.
We gotta get a Brendan hot dog emote.
Yeah. 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 Oh, that's hilarious.
Wait, why does the hot dog remind you of Mrs. Doubtfire? That was like one of my favorite movies growing up, but I don't understand that reference.
What?
Why?
Oh,
Do you remember a hot dog and Mrs. Doubtfire?
No.
What are you talking about, Pebbles?
The drugs was after the weight loss? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because his weight loss when he was like I think the beginning of high school or right before high school.
Okay. Well, that sucks. I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah, he lost weight between like 12 to 16. I believe you're right. It was like beginning years of high school, if not late middle school.
Yeah. That's funny, Pebbles. Oh, choking at the dinner table.
Oh, okay.
So
hot dogs are one of the worst choking foods.
The reason why I thought
statistically,
are they really?
Grapes and hot dogs are like the worst.
Weird.
Yeah.
But the reason why I thought the dope helped him lose weight was because he got kicked out of ROTC, and the way that the school, the principal who led the school worded it was, she said that, it was a really unfortunate event, and I'm glad he got to where he was after in life. Like that's somebody talking about someone recovering.
Interesting. Crafts and crime.
That's what I think it is.
I mean, drugs are a really good way to lose weight. A really bad way, but they do it. Okay. They get the job done, even if it's terrible for you.
Yeah. And make you lose your mind and other things. Yeah. Are an appetite suppressant for sure. Yeah. I think all drugs are an appetite suppressant. It's just a little bit different feeling. You have to force yourself to eat it. If you're one of those, like, what's a functioning addict or whatever, super rare.
Yeah, but see, the thing about opiates is they shut down your digestive system. They make it move super slow. But if you've ever met an opiate addict, almost all of them are addicted to sugar.
Yep.
Bad.
Yep.
Like super bad. Like I knew this girl once who always had Reese's in her purse, and if she didn't, she would literally lose her mind like she didn't have drugs.
Jeez.
It was ridiculous.
A dude bod, yes. Yeah, there's this idea that opiates, there's like this underground idea for opiate users that if you've used opiates your whole life, you look younger. Obviously, it's not true.
That is
not
true.
Opiate users say that.
Yeah, because I knew this one lady who was literally on them for like 30 years, and she had no teeth, and she told me that and she looked pretty old, and she wasn't that old. She was like 40 and looked like she was like 60.
Jeez.
And she said that over time, opiates, they do something to your bones, like leach calcium out of your bones or something like that. And that's why they slowly, very slowly rot your teeth and like cause problems with your bones, like bone diseases and stuff.
Yeah.
She was a Reese's junkie for real.
Keith Richards looks great for 140. Absolutely.
I don't think he turned. Opiates would be an odd choice to turn to lose weight. It would be an odd choice to lose weight with opiates specifically. Most people would go right to amphetamines to lose it quick like that. I think it was.
I would think Adderall. That would be like the normal, non-experienced drug user. Or phentermine. Yeah, absolutely.
Which you can just go to the doctor and get a script for to lose weight.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
But I mean, phentermine isn't like a straight up. It plateaus, but
really, Jenna, I haven't heard that before. He had weight loss surgery at that age.
I don't. Yeah. Whoa. That would be surprising.
That would be really surprising.
Yeah.
Huh.
He had surgery to get rid of excess skin. He was that overweight, you guys?
Dude, that is
I've seen some pictures, but
that's genetic too. So you can't say, oh, he was that overweight. Some people, even if they're not that overweight, for whatever reason, their skin just doesn't go back the way some other people's do. Like it can be genetic. Certain people will have worse excess skin after losing weight than others.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did have skin removal surgery. Wow.
Interesting. That is interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, really. If weight bothers you that bad, you guys, you know what's interesting is a lot of guys don't ever come forward with their eating disorder because it is looked at as such a non-manly thing in our society that it just flies under the radar. So I'm not surprised. I've known tons of people, had tons of friends that are like, dude, I feel like I'm gaining weight. I'm just not going to eat for 24 hours, you know? And that is horrible, you know?
Yeah, no, that's not
but it
weird.
Goes under the radar.
That's not weird, Bon. The way that was explained to me is if you get energy from opiates, that means you have the predisposition to becoming an addict.
Or ADHD.
Yeah, maybe. But that's just the way it was explained to me, because a normal person's brain doesn't react to opiates that way. They get tired. So I think it's a genetic thing that's passed on, and that basically just means you're predisposed to be getting addicted to them.
Yeah.
Your brain is wired for them, essentially.
It depends on what kind of ADHD and stuff you have too. So like my ADHD, it stems from a lack of oxygen, which actually makes your brain function faster. It makes it function so fast that it's faster than I can talk most of the time. So like when I'm losing my words and getting caught up and forgetting things, it's because I've already thought about that sentence and my brain moved on from it. So in order to get that to calm down, to slow down, I have to increase my blood pressure with caffeine or something like that. And I don't use meds, but that'll increase the oxygen in my blood and chill me out.
Yeah, thanks for the information, Siege. I didn't know much about that part of his life, to be honest.
100.
That's a lot. And J Ray said she actually thinks it's 130 to 140.
Oh my gosh,
so that's a lot.
Your ADHD too, Bart? Yeah, it's look, I appreciate my ADHD, you guys. Sometimes if you're watching me, you'll be able to tell. You can tell if I've had enough caffeine or not. You know, I'll lose my words. I won't be able to connect my sentences very well and things like that, especially when I'm thinking in theory and deep thought. It gets even worse, but usually I fix it with caffeine or something, but you can see it sometimes.
Hey, Brian.
Yes, ADHD team. Bam. Yeah. We want to get shirts that say Thought Riot and like something to do with ADHD. It's an ADHD thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you guys, I think that is it. I'll do one more check here. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys
hit the like button.
Hit that like button. I'll post this one more time. If you're on Twitter, join our Twitter. If you're on, we're on all of them. We're on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We're on everything. So hit that subscribe button. Come hang out with us again. Tonight was a good topic and a good conversation, and I appreciate all of you for being here. And we will be uploading this to the True Crime Talk Show over here on the podcast, which is on every podcast platform. So Apple, Amazon, Google, I missed one and I'm not remembering what it is, but if it's a podcast platform, we're on it. So on both of them, the True Crime Talk Show and Thought Riot Podcast. And make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube and notify. And you guys can catch all the new episodes coming out, the cases coming out, the breaking news that we come out with once a day. So we will continue this again. And we are not live tomorrow. Just an update for you guys. We are not live tomorrow, but we are the next day. We are going to be live the next day. So we appreciate all of you.
Yeah. Appreciate all of you. Hope you all have a great night. It was a good discussion.
Yeah, hit that like on the way out, you guys.
Yeah. Appreciate you all.
It goes a long way.
Shh, trying to sleep. All right. Good night, Cynthia. Yep. Stay safe out there, because you know it's a dangerous one.
Yes. Throw back to drip drop. I guess not throw back. Throw sideways. Throw horizontal to drip drop.
Yep.
Yes. All right, you guys. Subscribe and come hang out with us again next time. We're coming out with the next one, hopefully on Thursday. So, I mean, we release it every day, but yeah, hang on. It's on the screen here. So live every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday under our picture, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. True Crime Talk Show. And we release cases every day and breaking news every day. So hit that subscribe and notify, and we'll catch you next time.
Yep. See you then.
Hot dog of the year out.
Absolutely. Bye.
See ya.